Yes.
Right. It is 2:01, and we will call to order the Ogden Valley City Council meeting for April 20th, 2026. We are located at the Huntsville Town Hall, our anchor location. We are also available online via Zoom for electronic participation. In attendance today, we have council members Hickman, Shaw, and Hoagland. Absent today are council members Booth and Julie Baker. I am Mayor Wampler. We have our reporter and our IT director, and I've seen our treasurer is here as well. All right. Everyone who is able, please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everyone goes over this slide. Thank you. I feel like I'm microphone. Is that what's happening? Very loud. All of a sudden. Okay. We start every work session with a planning update. I believe Brian, you are online. Chad Peggy, you're not here. Would you like to take this and run with it?
Absolutely. Yep. As we progress towards moving our land use code out of, or the community out of a moratorium for building, as of the most recent Planning Commission meeting on the 14th, the Planning Commission has reviewed, received public comment, and forwarded recommended ordinance language onto the City Council for every element of the land use code that is necessary to remove the moratorium on single-family home.
Did we lose you?
Oh, no, sorry.
Very excited.
Let me apologize. After the Planning Commission recently completed reviewing documentation and forwarded it to a public hearing on the 28th of April. Once that hearing is completed and the Planning Commission has revised their changes and forwards them to the City Council, the City Council will have all of the land use code necessary to adopt to remove the moratorium on residential single-family development and associated accessory buildings. So once the City Council could consider that for adoption as early as their meeting on May 5th, and which would allow the city to remove the moratorium at least on that single-family residential development. The Planning Commission is still considering some commercial and other non-residential language that will need to go to a public hearing no earlier than May 12th, but none of that is necessary to proceed with residential development.
I propose that one of the things we discussed and frankly decided today is how we want to approach getting out of rolling back the moratorium with respect to single family homes and residential. So let's have that conversation, but not right now. Part of that is impact fees. We have emails from Corbin with respect to impact fees and some legal discussion. But one of the objectives I have for today is we, the City Council, put a line in the sand, whatever that date is, and say we will be done by this date and roll back the moratorium, be it the 2nd of July or some other day. So I will be pushing that today, personally.
So go back the full moratorium July, and by, I thought I heard him say by May 5th, we roll back.
Right, we will have all the documents in our docket on or about the 28th of April.
Yeah.
for us to look at, debate, decide, vote on. And if we vote on them all by the 5th of May, then the moratorium for residential would be rolled back
For
that
residential.
day, right? So let's have that conversation. If not right now, let's have it today. I would like to be able to tell the community, here's what city council is. But it's, we put it on the table and we're gonna hold ourselves accountable. Now, two of our peers aren't here today. But the three of us here are, and we can make a decision.
You can make a decision, you can take action tomorrow.
Yes, we can make resolutions tomorrow. And Brian, you sent us a separate document that has all of the documents needed for the single family home residential rollback, right?
Yes, that's correct. I could pull it up on the screen if you'd like to see it.
I would.
I will.
That-
And while you're pulling it up, when did you send it, Brian? You've been prolific.
Oh, it was yesterday, I believe.
Brian, in that, do you also have a list of all of the land use chapters and
Yes,
codes that we wanna do?
yes, the entire land use code, at least as originally formatted by Weber County, is considered in the document.
Okay.
We're just waiting for your share, Brian.
Yep, sorry, I'm coming. Had to remember where I put it.
You say you sent it yesterday?
Okay. All right, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So anything with a green check mark by it is a priority and is required for consideration or required for adoption in order to proceed with residential development, residential single family dwelling resident development. So we've got titles 102 and 101, which are just general administrative provisions. The city council has those in hand. Title 104, which is the zones, the individual zoning district ordinances. Chapter 1 there is just again, it's just administrative procedural language on how zones are determined and administered within the city. The city has the council has that in hand. And zoning chapters 2, 3, and 8, which are agricultural zone, AV3, residential estate zone, RE 1525, and hillside residential HR. Those have been through the public hearing and referred by the planning commission, so the city council has those in hand as well. Additional chapters for residential consideration are the shoreline, the Forest Valley Zone, FV3, and the sensitive lands overlay zones. The Forest Valley FV3 is in the city council's agenda, and then shoreline the shoreline zone will be considered at the public hearing on the 28th, and after that date should be available for the city council to review and adopt, as well as the sensitive lands overlay zone. The sensitive lands overlay zone has all of the standards necessary for review of projects on hill slopes, hillsides, and near wetlands, water bodies, streams and water courses, things like that. And the planning commission also recommended adding a section on ridgeline review. So, and then there is a chapter 108 on design standards, and there are about 20 different, or title 108 is design standards, and there are about 20 different chapters in there. The city council has chapter 1, which is design review, in your packet already. And then the city or the planning commission has chapters 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15, and 16, 18, and 19 and 22. Those are all on the docket for the April 28th public hearing and will be advanced to the city council immediately after that. There are a few, and so with that, after the public hearing on the 28th, the city council will have everything that's necessary for single family dwelling construction in residential zones. There are some related ordinances that are not required at this point.
Brian, any questions? Can you
Okay,
just hang on a second? So in theory, we'll have passed out of,
I didn't get this.
Brian, apparently not all of us received that. Can you resend the document?
absolutely. Yep.
Thank you. The list that he just went through, in theory, the planning commission will pass them all out, the last of them out on the 28th. I mean, they could choose not to, but if we assume they do, then we will have them on our docket to consider, do whatever we're gonna do with them. And make a decision on when we can roll back the moratorium for single family residential homes,
Single family residential home construction.
construction.
So that would be my question, is, there were a couple things skipped and most glaringly, 108-21 agritourism, which is a popular, conditional use. So how do we allow one thing and not the other? I'm sure there's an answer, I just would like to know.
Well, agritourism is not considered a structure, it's a use. And the conditional use permits revolve around things like crowd management, traffic, noise and dust, hours of operation, things like that. And they do require a conditional use permit to proceed. A conditional use permit is different from a building permit.
Understood, but there are buildings involved in agritourism.
There are, yes.
Are
Yes,
they residential?
they can
It
be.
can be, well, it's designed for use in AB3, FE3 and others. It is a use that one could do. So are there others like this? You said there's one, are there others?
Well, yeah, of course, can't run with anybody coming forward anytime soon, but that I think is understandable. There weren't that many skipped over those, but 21 is glaring.
Will it be necessary for to lift the moratorium for other residential?
This is my question, do you word the rollback on construction, like, I mean, I'm sure you can legally word it in a very specific way. But in terms of people, if the whole thing is letting people use their land, agritourism is a very popular thing to apply for, and there's construction involved in that, barn dominiums, and yurts and all kinds of different things that are involved in there.
When is the planning commission considering ag tourism?
They're considering it, I believe at their meeting this week. But it still would not be able to go to a public hearing until, I mean, I guess if they were to consider it and move on it this week, we could have a public hearing scheduled for the 5th of May. It would be difficult because that would coincide with the city council's evening meeting, so we would have to find an alternative location.
Yeah, let's not worry about logistics right now. We can solve logistics if we have to.
I think we just get as far as we can. For the bulk of residential building, and if someone has an agritourism application, they may have to wait a couple of days. I think we'll have plenty to process if we get the bulk through. And then work on the rest, clean up.
Particularly if we say to the people, this is when we anticipate ag tourism and X, Y, and Z being done, you can go ahead and apply for a permit. Just know that this section is not finalized yet, so
I'm just saying, however it gets worded with the
Yeah.
rollback of the moratorium, it needs to be very clear about that.
we've got to be absolutely clear. So
All right. Sorry, Ron. You're about to talk.
So we have this list of what most of what needs to be there to enjoy the ability to build a single family residence. Albeit not all of them are gonna be here on the 28th of April. Period. That's what we know from what Brian just told us.
I think that's good. Let's move forward, time is of the essence.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so then Brian, that just leaves chapter 106 subdivisions and agritourism basically.
Well, it does also include short-term rentals, since we're talking
Short-term
about
rentals.
conditional use permits.
Gotcha. So that's what.
Yeah, the short-term rental item would not be moved out of the moratorium. Yeah, we do have, we've got some commercial zones, the open space, cluster subdivisions, short-term rentals, things like that. And yes, of course, the subdivision language has been recommended to the city council. But you can act on that when the city feels like it's ready to accept applications for new subdivisions, which I don't think necessarily coincides with issuing building permits. But it is ready for your consideration.
I'm looking at Weber County's website right now, and that pretty much covers it all. Once you get agritourism, short-term rental, and subdivisions, I think that's everything, right?
Yes.
Okay. And they have a hearing coming up?
Yes, they have a hearing scheduled for Tuesday, the 28th at 5 p.m. We noticed that last week.
Did mailers go out?
The postcard mailers went out. We have encountered one problem with the postcard mailers. If residents have not reported to the county that they use a post office box instead of have mail delivered to their home, those mailers are likely not being delivered because the post office will not deliver mail to a P.O. box unless the P.O. box is listed on the article of mail. And if the county recorder does not have the P.O. box on the address of record, then we can't send it to the P.O. box. So I have received comments from residents saying that they're not receiving these mailers, and I've encouraged them to visit the county website where there's a form that they can fill this out. They can fill out to update their address with the county recorders. I spoke with the county recorder about it. The only remedy they have is when residents self-report the address change or the mailing preference. And they've received numerous complaints of people not receiving their tax notices on time, and so their property gets put into delinquency, and people claim, well, I never received the notice, and it's because it won't be delivered to a P.O. box without notifying the county first. So
Brian?
yes.
Good job to figure that out. Seems like you've done what you can do for the time being. We can put something in the newspaper, publish this week, at least going forward, that might reach people. Until then, please update. But has anyone tried talking to the postmaster in each of the post offices? Because I know my post office will put it in if they know who you are and they can match it to an address.
I spoke with a clerk at the Eden post office, and she would not. She says they're not allowed to put it in the mailbox unless it has a P.O. box number on it. At least that was her interpretation as a clerk. That may vary from postal employee to employee.
Sure.
But yes, in terms of our due diligence, we have done everything that we can reasonably to notify the residents. It's posted on the website. It's posted in a physical location where the meeting is being held, and we are using the best information available to send it to them in the mail.
Okay. To be clear, Brian, what resource are you using for the address?
I'm using the address provided by the county recorders, and they get it from the county assessor's tax roll.
Is that Ricky's office?
Yes.
Yes.
If you're using it for the county, you've done all you can.
No, that's not my question. I'm just, from my own perspective, so. It goes to the wrong address for me. This happened under Weaver County as well, but I get my mail, my driver's license has my correct address, my tax information goes to the correct address, but for some reason, land use stuff. Even before we were incorporated, as well as since we've been incorporated, has gone to Whitney's correct address, so I'm trying to figure out what is the source of that.
Maybe we can take that offline in the discussion post office.
I don't think it's the post office, I think it's the tax, the addresses of record that individuals give to county. There's a form that people can fill out to make sure that the county has the right mailing address as well as the property tax address, is what Brian just said.
Yeah.
But so people have to act, even if they don't know that they need.
Okay, let's put it in the newspaper.
Alright, sounds good.
So
Okay, Brian.
Brian, I sent you and Stan an email and asked you about the timing of impact fees. How does it work when we vote, when we restart the permitting process?
Sure.
Please describe the process for city council.
So under state code, impact fees are assessed at the time of a building permit application. They cannot be assessed at the time of subdivision or rezone. And they cannot be assessed later after a permit has been issued. So most communities, including Weber County, have required payment of impact fees at the time of a building permit application, and they are requested once the application has been completed and is recognized as complete and submitted by the jurisdiction. At which point the jurisdiction asks for all fees to be paid, including impact fees. And once those fees are paid, a permit is issued. If impact fees are not in place at the time that application for permit is otherwise deemed complete and ready for all fees to be paid, then the applicant will pay all necessary fees, excluding impact fees, and then they will be issued a permit, and the city has no recourse to go back and claim those impact fees in the future. In terms of how the process will result in certain properties not being required to pay impact fees, while those accepted at the same time and perhaps completed a day or two later, being required to pay impact fees as the ordinance finally matures and comes into power. It will certainly be unpopular with the people required to pay them. However, there is no liability to the city in terms of in terms of requiring a fee from one person versus another, simply because the legal authority to collect the fee from early applicant A was not in place, but it is in place for applicant B. It's just a matter of timing. It's unfortunate for one to be required to pay when the other is not, but there's no legal basis for them to have a complaint against the city. It was simply a matter of not being able to cross the finish line fast enough.
We need to analyze that further, I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
The finish line were such that everybody was crossing it at the same time, that this would not be a question, right? Right, Brian?
Brian,
I'm
did you
sorry.
hear the question?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
If the finish line were such that everybody was crossing it at the same time, this would not be a question.
That's correct.
And so the question is, should we open this up earlier or wait until everybody has to pay impact fees?
That is a.
It
That's
depends
why I
on,
brought it up. If we're gonna consider,
I have another question. So I heard you say that impact fees are specifically tied at the time of the building permit being issued. You also said application, then you said completed application, so I'm just gonna go with tied to building permit. Is that still a correct statement?
yeah, thank you.
Okay.
That's,
What other types of permits are out there that maybe could get somebody going without triggering the impact fee assessment because a building permit itself wasn't issued? Like, is there some sort of loophole there where we could get people to start some excavation work, start some sort of prep work for their properties and yet not trigger the impact fee just yet?
Mayor,
Well,
can I jump? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Brian.
well, I would just say that any sort of horizontal improvement to the property, certain types of excavation or grading, those are not the same as a building permit, and impact fees are not assessed at the time of a excavation permit. I assume under the city code that they are required at the time of the building permit. And so yeah, I mean, certain types of site improvements could be allowed as long as the property owner or the contractor was not building up, going vertical and requiring a building permit. A building permit.
My question was, what are those options? You just mentioned excavation permit, that's one.
Yeah, excavation. I mean, site grading typically does not require a permit of any type. If it's greater than an acre in size, I guess they would need a stormwater prevention plan and from the State Division of Environmental Quality. We could require a land use permit in order to proceed with types of larger earth movement like that in terms of site preparation. But
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Hook.
No, I just think, I would like us to dig a little bit deeper on that due date. And then maybe take it offline with discussions with council and discussions of what will our process be when we accept applications. Because by law, applications aren't complete until all fees have been paid. They aren't vested until all fees have been paid. And I think there's some fine parsing we can do as language to see if we can avoid unintended outcomes. I feel more comfortable not doing it in consultation with you all. Because we got a lot on this meeting to get through.
Brian, state again when the impact fee goes. Is it assessed when you apply? Are you obligated when you apply? Is it assessed when you're given the permit? Tell us exactly when the impact fee is applied or assessed. Do you hear the question?
well, yes, I did. I'm trying to work it out here. State law allows local government to require that impact fees be paid before issuance of a building permit. And this is the most commonly accepted and clearly permissible collection point, and most Utah jurisdictions expressly require payment prior to permit issuance. So
Let me ask a question of our council.
Yep.
What did we write into our impact fee ordinance? Did we write anything saying when we?
I don't recall indicating when they vest, and I think that's perhaps a matter of statutory law rather than ordinance. When they are payable is a different question from when they are vested, when the amount is set that they must pay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it would probably be At the time that you've got a completed application, you would be vested for purposes of what you would have to pay. I think it would probably be the same. I can look at that. I can get you an answer on that. I did want to point out, however, that I had circulated to all of you a potential way to deal with this, where the state code does allow you to pass a temporary land use ordinance, a resolution basically, that would allow for people who are waiting for building permits right now to start that process without being vested, without triggering any of the timeframes. Because if we had allowed them to apply, there's a certain timeframe that we have to approve them on. I looked into this and we can do that. And I've drafted a resolution that I circulated to everyone that I'm hoping you can look at and that we could possibly get on the agenda for tomorrow that really would deal with most of these problems. If we can pass that, then they can go ahead, start their application process on Wednesday. They pick up 2.5 weeks before we can get everything finalized, but it's going to take that long anyway to get their building permits issued. And the big issue there was that we were concerned that if they applied, they would be vested and that the timeframes would begin. And in the resolution, you'll see that we're basically saying this is a courtesy process. You're not vested. We're reviewing these things because, basically we're offering this and we understand there's a moratorium in place, but it at least would give them a runway where they wouldn't lose a couple of weeks. And I think that would be something that would be very wise to do. And then May 5th, we can get that all in place. And then hopefully they can pull their building permits soon thereafter.
Corbin, sorry, I'm jumping here. Corbin, just because of logistics here, this meeting goes to 2 to 4. If we stay later, the latest it can go is till 5. If we're gonna get something noticed as an amendment to tomorrow night's meeting, that's gotta be all done before 6.
That's
We're
why,
real short on time here for that to happen for tomorrow.
yeah, that's why I'm raising it. I wanted to just let you know that that's a possibility. I tried to get it done as early as I could this morning. It was probably midday when I got it circulated. So I just wanted to let you know if that's something you do want to put on the agenda, you could look at it and then we could come back and talk about it in our city council meeting and possibly take action on it.
And
Sorry.
I keep getting references for emails and I'm not sure anything. So I got an email from you about an analysis on downzoning. Is that the one you're talking about?
That one, yes, we've circulated emails on multiple different topics here. We've circulated on downzoning, on the impact fees and some questions there. I've circulated a resolution on what I just talked about. So you should have probably 3 or 4 emails that I've been working through this morning to get answers to you.
But today,
Yes, all of those today, yes.
I received looks like 2 from you today. One about impact fees. So those are the 2.
Corbin, I do not have one that has a draft resolution that you've described.
John Hickman is on it, but Tia is not.
What's the subject?
4:20 to 12:10 p.m. The subject is permitting free access.
There we go. He responded to.
He responded to
Just
Stan.
There we go. Okay. Tia's not on it.
Yeah, either is Kay, either is
Okay.
Peggy, yeah.
Okay, we'll get it over to him.
Okay.
Here's how I feel, this stuff is rather technical. And I'm on its face, uncomfortable with saying, that sounds good, we'll adopt it tomorrow. So I'd say, let's discuss and review, because it's probably one of a few approaches we could take. And we may have to schedule some more regular meetings at the end of next week to get through this and other things. I have a feeling our schedule will be full and our meetings will be bountiful.
That leads me to my one last question for Brian, and then depending on how you all feel, we can move off of the planning update to the next agenda item. But Brian, with the discussion of trying to roll back the moratorium and pieces of things, with applications coming in, or spilling forth, I guess, to your office, are you comfortable with taking on the added role of the immediate planning director, planning staff, as well as managing planning commission and the continued public hearings and all the other stuff you're currently doing with adding in the influx of actual land use applications?
Yes, yeah, my team and I had put together a process to work through project applications and reviews to make sure that we can take care of those tasks for you.
Thank you. Anybody else on planning update?
I'm just waiting for that email from Brian.
And Brian, did you get any sleep at all?
Last week was rough, but no, things are
Okay, all right. Thank you. Take care.
We're over the big hump, I think. So
Good.
Brian and Corbin, don't go away. We're gonna go to some other business, then come back and talk land use.
Yeah, one thing I was going to say just quickly in response to Kay is this really isn't that overly complicated, Kay. And I would tell you, at least put it on the agenda so you can talk about it. This really is not what I'm proposing is not a complicated thing. And so just for whatever that's worth, the only reason we would do it is because it's buying them time. If we kick it another week, we're only a week away from being able to pass everything else. So,
Great.
so anyway.
Okay,
Thank you for the work.
All right, item number 3 on the agenda is the finance budget update. I'm gonna say, especially to make up time, we have our finance expert coming tomorrow, or presenting tomorrow during the meeting to give a full update on where we're at with everything, so we won't go through that right now, we'll just take that for tomorrow. And then, Lieutenant Krieger. Item number 4 on the agenda is our law enforcement quarterly recap. By Lieutenant Krieger, we plan to do these once a quarter, just so everybody's aware, to kind of give everybody an update on the types of things that are going on in our valley, things like that, so. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. So I got this kind of thrown together. Pulling last year's stats for the valley is a mess because the city, you can't pull it for the city because you have to do all the separate things. So last year's numbers are admittedly an ish on my end, but we'll kind of go through that. So I threw together. Okay, so I just kind of threw together some background overview stuff for the sheriff's office. I don't know how much of this has been gone over, we're explaining to you guys. Okay. So the face value of the sheriff's office from the enforcement side are 78 sworn staff from chief down. We have 5 lieutenants in the enforcement division. We actually have 9 sergeants and 63 deputy spots. Right now we have 4 vacancies within the office, which is amazing compared to what we've been doing with our staffing. We cover 9 contract cities plus the unincorporated county. The unincorporated parts of the county is treated like a contract city. Basically, the commissioners function like a mayor on it. Currently, we have 6 deputies on FTO, and there's 2 in the academy. So just kind of like a little staffing update for us. And then within enforcement, we have the patrol division. This is what everyone typically pictures and thinks of when they think the sheriff's office. That's ran by 1 lieutenant. There's 4 sergeants. Each one of those 4 sergeants runs a crew of 8 deputies, so it'd be 9 people on at a time, counting the sergeant. They all work rotating 12-hour shifts. And then the primary duties are just responding to calls for service, the proactive policing, the high visibility policing, just the normal kind of meat and potatoes you think of when it comes to law enforcement services. The way this works out is we have all of our patrol precincts broken up into the 4 different sectors. So like West Haven and Hooper is 1. Plain City Far West, Mary Slaterville is 2, Terrace and Winnet is 3, then all of the Upper Valley is 4, and that's kind of how the areas are split up and assigned for the deputies. Typically deputies are assigned an area for, depends on the crew, kind of rotates around, but typically at least a pay period or so. That way the deputies get to work different areas. They don't just get stuck in one place. They get to the whole county as a whole. Some of the more senior guys definitely have areas they prefer, and they typically stay in those areas. But lately with all of the training in the FTO we've been going on, the new officers in their field training, those guys get moved around constantly, so they get experience everywhere. So it kind of causes shuffling all over the place. And then our K9 deputies, we have them assigned to kind of an overlapping cover shift type thing. Some of them are working at 12 to 12, some of them all the way up to a 3 to 3, so 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. That way we have that type of coverage and overlap for our shift change. And then also those resources kind of being available during more high need times, not usually a whole lot of need for like K9s at 5 a.m. And then Our investigations bureau is ran by one lieutenant. There's two detective sergeants. We're doing some restructuring in there right now. We're making a special victims unit within investigations. We've always had like specialty detectives like financial crimes, child welfare, and ICAC, Internet Crimes Against Children. They're going to kind of further split it a little bit. So we have one sergeant over just the special victims type crime, just like what you see on TV, right? The sex offenses, the child crimes, all that sort of stuff. And then one sergeant will be over what we consider like major crimes and everything else, all the way from vehicle burglaries to all sorts of major violations. All of our detectives carry collateral assignments. Some of those are like VFAST, which is a U.S. Marshals ran task force. It's the Violent Fugitive Apprehension something team. They go out on a bi-weekly basis. It's made up, it's ran by the U.S. Marshals, but all the members of the team are local law enforcement agencies. Typically all of them are detectives. They'll all bring names to the team that they're looking for, people with warrants, people with active cases, and then they'll use that VFAST team and all their resources to go out and find those people. Then we have our homicide task force. That's kind of an on-call type thing that most of the detectives participate in. That is a county-wide thing. That way, when there's a homicide or these major type of investigations, it's everyone coming to help. So you'll have detectives from Ogden, from South Ogden, from North Ogden. Everyone gets involved in those to help divide up that work because they're so labor intensive. And when you look at, for example, like Harrisville, I believe they have one detective that they're not handling that, right? So the county attorney's office is who runs the task force. It falls underneath their direction. So all of those detectives, when they're filling in that role, kind of change hats and now they're working with the Weber County Attorney's Office. And we also have the ICAC task force, which is a little different than the ICAC specialty. For the task force stuff, that's where they put together these group chat nights where they'll get all the detectives together at a different agency and get on the internet, go to the chat pages and kind of arrange meetings and all that sort of stuff in lifetime. And then also falling underneath our investigations bureau, we have one sergeant and one deputy spot over at the strike force as a full-time assignment. And that again is a county and Morgan-wide operation. Then for the schools, we have one lieutenant over all of our schools. They are also the school security chief, which is a new position that the state has pushed out with that new school safety bill. I want to say there's 86 schools within Weber County. All of those, when it comes to school safety, fall underneath him for school checks, everything from certain type of locks on doors, all sorts of things that they're dealing with. But our SROs are ran by one sergeant. We have 9 SRO deputies. Their full-time assignments during the school year are all of the secondary schools. The junior highs get full coverage, the high schools get full coverage, and then the elementaries are just divvied up by the closest SRO. They'll also cover those secondary. And then during the summer months, all these SROs, they'll either go out to Marine Patrol for the summer or they'll help backfill patrol spots and kind of bolster staffing. And then for our traffic unit, that is 1 sergeant and 4 deputies. These guys work 4 10-hour shifts, kind of rotating throughout the week. They have now, with our new addition of the newest deputy we put in there, we have 6-day week coverage with the traffic unit. And they're overlapping kind of all over the place. So they start really early in the morning, like Monday, and then we have a guy who's out on Friday, Saturday, kind of functioning as a DUI car. Specialties within the traffic unit, we have a commercial motor vehicle inspector. So he does semi-truck inspections, commercial vehicles. He's the one that they'll literally pull out the scales and do weight inspections and all that stuff on the side of the road. The guy that we have doing it, he's one of the top inspectors in the state as far as numbers that he pulls in. The violations and stuff that he gets are crazy. I think it was around 30 to 40% of all of his inspections result in the vehicle being placed out of service, which means it cannot leave that spot until it's fixed. We have a drug recognition expert, which is a kind of a huge deal to go get certified in. It takes a whole lot of training, lots of years for it. And he becomes a kind of a countywide asset doing that. And then most of them all have some form of, leading towards advanced crash reconstruction training. And then they're all members of the multi-jurisdictional crash team that is within Weber County. It kind of functions like that homicide task force with investigations. Every time there's a major fatal or likely fatal or just serious bodily injury accident, this crash team will come out, kind of the same logic, many hands make light work. So there's reconstructionists between us and Ogden and different agencies that will all work on those things. And then some of the other services that we provide, we have we used to call it Street Crimes Unit. Its name's probably going to be shifting to the Crime Reduction Unit. That's another group of guys that'll be non-call responsive. So they're not tied to the radio. They work purely proactive shifts. That's something that we had to put on pause last year due to the staffing issues, but with the staffing coming up, the plan is to have this rolling again by summer. They've been doing everything from vehicle burglary suppression to certain neighborhoods or issues happening within a general area, hitting that really hard. Homeless camps, we're gonna have them take on the sex offender registry checks, all sorts of stuff. We have our search and rescue, the drone team, we have a motor squad that is a collateral assignment. Our drone team, we have one who is kind of like her full-time job. But they again are also like a county and even regional wide asset. They were up in Box Elder just yesterday, helping them with a SWAT standoff. And our bike patrols, collateral assignment, the deputies within patrol, that division can get certified to ride a bicycle around, go hit the trails and do all that type of stuff. Our marine patrol, which everyone up here should be pretty familiar with, it's the deputies out on the water. During the summer, we provide all that Forest Service coverage. We have a contract with the Forest Service office where they pay us to take ships over the weekend, covering all the campgrounds and all the Forest Service related stuff up here. We have one deputy who does civil paperwork, which is a constitutional thing that we're required to do as a sheriff's office. His full-time job is going around the county serving as civil papers. Everything from divorces, garnishments, protective orders, all sorts of stuff. Right now we have 4 canines, 1 explosive detector, 1 single purpose, which is just narcotics, and 2 dual purpose dogs. We have our 9-member CSI unit, and then I run a program, the Easy Compliance Checks, which is feel like relevant for the Valley. So business licenses and stuff like that you guys deal with for the off-premise alcohol consumption retailers. We're the ones that come through and do those checks underneath the state to make sure they're not selling to underage buyers. So some of the stuff from Q1 this year. So the numbers I pulled up, we had 323 total case numbers for Ogden Valley City, and that is trying to go through and make sure personnel, things that shouldn't be. For all of my spot checks, I'm not finding anything that's getting tagged to the city that isn't the city. I did come across onesies and twosies of things that happened within the city that didn't get tracked. One was we have what's called commonplace names. Some of the commonplace names are still showing as Weber County as opposed to just plotting the address. Just a way that some of that works. I've been working with dispatch to make sure those are getting corrected. For the first quarter, there were 2 deaths in the Upper Valley. We had 108 total traffic stops. Of those, 95 citations were issued. 6 traffic accidents, the 2 domestic disturbances. That's a mix of 1 criminal, 1 was deemed non-criminal, a sex offense, 2 child abuses, and only 1 vehicle burglary, which is awesome. So kind of just a very basic view of it. And then here is a plot map that I just learned how to do today, showing where all those calls fell within the valley for the first. We have another tool called
Well, I don't know, D5. Hey, D5. The rest of you, there's a lot of dots up there northly.
So
Just saying.
kind of fun to see like
Open land then.
No, okay.
And it's hard on this little screenshot of it, but you can start seeing where like the deputies like doing the traffic.
Mhm.
A lot of little sections are roadway and really heavily covered. We have another program called CompStat that I just got access to today that actually was heated. So rather than a whole bunch of little dots, it'll do more color coding and all that type of stuff. So I can have that a little better for next quarter. So Q2 from last year, these were numbers that were pretty hard to pull. So please don't quote me on these numbers, but I'm confident with them. So I pulled 837 total cases for Q2 last year, and that was just using the area codes of Eden, Liberty, and Upper Valley West. Our line for our area tracking between Upper Valley West and East is basically the mouth of South Fork Canyon. So I typically tell people that like the Eagles was that line for what we considered East versus West Upper Valley. I kept out what we call area code of F1, which was Pineview surrounding areas. Because using F1 pulls in everything on the beaches, a lot of the trailheads and stuff on the water. And then that was a discussion I made sure I had with you guys as far as what is city or not city. Because I know there's Forest Service stuff that I think is within the city, some that isn't. So we got to make sure I figure that out. I know that dispatching the people with Puddle stats have it ready, but we pull things differently from what I'm doing. Just for this quarter last year, second quarter last year, we had 45 parking citations, and all of those were in the month of June. You figure with Memorial Day kind of being the kickoff of our parking citation weekend. I couldn't find any over Memorial Day weekend, but in June is when they really started getting very heavily. And then just kind of the highlight on that is, despite how many days there are in the quarter, those are all coming on like Saturdays and Sundays. Very rarely do we have parking problems during the week. There were 6 deaths during this quarter last year, 163 traffic stops, 32 traffic accidents, 6 domestic disturbances, 7 thefts, and that is combining several different types of thefts, from vehicle burglaries to thefts from yards, thefts from businesses, just all thefts in general. 34 alarm calls. Very often those are someone didn't turn off their alarm when they left in the morning. We still get dispatch those people out that we can. 9 total mental health calls. Some of those resulted in like mental health commitments. Some of them result in, we have a system or a team in Weber County called MCOT, which is through Weber Human Services, the Mobile Crisis Outreach Team. They will come and respond to people's houses. So if we go out and someone is just struggling, they're not necessarily in imminent danger to themselves. Taking them to the hospital and sticking them with a hospital bill is going to add to their problems and not help, but they need some type of intervention. We'll have the MCOT team come out, and as long as everyone is calm and cool, they'll kick us loose and they stay and deal with that person. MCOT will even go out and make their own house call follow-up calls and not even involve us in it. So they're a super awesome tool. And then a total of 38 suspicious incidents. And again, this was cutting out all of the F1 stuff, which would be all the beaches. During the summer, that's where a lot of those type of calls come in. Just everything you can imagine on the beach, people calling in the car, person, vehicle, stuff like that, be suspicious, if you will. And then just a couple items of note for some gee whiz stuff, I guess, for you guys. Over the weekends throughout the summer months, we have a total of 7 Forest Service shifts every single Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with an increase in those shifts for holiday weekends. And these get spread out. They'll typically start Friday afternoon, go all day Saturday, and then all day Sunday out around until midnight-ish. And then later and kind of treat Sunday like a Saturday for those Monday holiday weekends. And that is all supplemental coverage. That is in addition to the patrol deputy and the Marine deputies who are already out. Those are all overtime shifts that the deputies are picking up that are being funded by the U.S. Forest Service. Primary responsibility during those shifts are all Forest Service land. All the campgrounds, all the way to Monte. There's guys that get real adventurous and go all the way out, like take drive through Lightning Ridge and all the way to Monte Cristo Campground. All of the stuff that happens at Causey is Forest Service, like the parking problems at Causey and all that typically fall on the Forest Service cars. And then sometimes they'll help supplement the Marine Patrol for like the busy weekends. For Marine Patrol this year, I believe the current plan is we're going to have 6 Marine Patrol deputies like we have in the past. They'll also work the 12-hour shifts just like the patrol crews do. So there'll be 3 on A days and 3 on B days, and they kind of work staggered shifts. One will typically come out in the morning, one a little towards midday, and one comes out later in the afternoon, and then their shifts kind of taper off. They try to have one, like the second shift usually ending around midnight so that they can go around 10, 11 o'clock and do like the ink permit checks that we do on the lake, so that they have 2 people doing that. And then it's one guy till kind of towards the wee hours of the morning or the night. And then some events, just gee whiz coming up. The Ogden Marathon is coming up on the 16th, which is the Ogden Marathon, but 90% of it is up here. So that's a huge impact. We're working with the Gold Foundation. You'll have our office and troopers typically up here working those events. The troopers will be doing a lot of the stuff on Highway 39 through South Fork and then again in the mouth of the canyon. And then you have deputies doing traffic control and vehicle shuttles going around from First Street here all the way around to the mouth of the canyon, taking in 58. Another event coming up is the Go Rodeo bike ride in June. That is like it's not a race, but it's one of these ridiculously long bike ride kind of things. They start in Ogden. They'll come up Ogden Canyon. I believe they stay on the west side of the lake. They go all the way up North Fork, go way up. I'm not even sure how far they go north, but they take some big loop north after they get off of Avon. Then come all the way back down, and they'll go back over the divide, lead back into Ogden and finish there. Just some gee whiz. It's not going to be hard closures like we do with marathons and whatnot. That should be staying together and just kind of be like a rolling closure. So it shouldn't have a huge impact. The Ragnar race, that Wasatch Back Relay that I know everyone loves because it's like a day and a half of traffic. Apparently that is not happening. So some gee whiz, I'm sure people up here would be excited about. And then just a note for you guys, I'm still working with dispatch on the location codes and issues like that as they arise. So in those dailies, if you guys see an address that isn't quite making sense or isn't working, help me point it out. I'm keeping an eye on stuff that we're missing or things that are going into the city wrong. So far, I haven't caught anything that was unincorporated and tagged as the city, but I know there's stuff that's missing from the city, like the one that we found. And then with that, so that's the stuff I put together for today. Do you guys have any direction with these things you would like to see on these type of updates? Stats for Q1 and the first half of Q2, or there's not a whole lot. Q3 is typically where you'll see a lot more up here. And then if we were to include the stuff at the lake and all that, that's what makes a huge difference with staffing. Yes.
In terms of tests,
Uh-huh.
this could be just someone passed away.
Yeah, nothing, no suspicious ones.
So I'm wondering, is there a way to distinguish between, is it on passing or any real crime issues?
If there was one that was like we're treating as a suspicious death and considered like a homicide or something like that, I would notify you guys.
Okay,
So those are the type of things that like real major incidents come up, I'll reach out. So you guys are aware of those sorts of things. At the same time, I know you guys probably get calls all the time, like there's sirens down the street from me, what's going on? Feel free to reach out if it's a big enough thing, and we have an app on our phone, I can check the calls right from that spot. So even if the patrol sergeant hasn't had enough time to make admin notifications, I can still look it up and get you some basic info on it. But yeah, as far as deaths, if they are suspicious or hinky, that's something I'd reach out to you guys with. The vast majority of them are, you have two ways to consider deaths in the state of Utah: attended and unattended. Attended just means that you're under the care of a doctor and a doctor is willing to sign off on a death certificate. Majority of deaths that patrol handles falls into that. The other one, unattended, you're not seeing a doctor, you're not under medical care. We still have to call out detectives, the crime scene investigation team, and a medical examiner. But the majority of those are just people who weren't going to the doctor or weren't being seen for something that would likely lead to their passing. Overdose deaths, self-inflicted things, or just people who don't go to the doctor all fall into that category. So they get completely investigated, but they're not necessarily suspicious. There's just those two categories that we can put them into. Yes.
Just a question, you showed us 2026 Q1, right?
Mhm.
And 2025 Q2.
Mhm.
What's your reasoning for showing us Q2 of 2025?
Just kind of a heads up on what to expect for levels of calls and all that. Yeah, you guys will have, out of all of our cities and all of our areas, you guys will have the hugest fluctuation from, I mean, not even necessarily quarter to quarter, but even month to month. I mean, May to June is a completely different world up here. Most of our cities, a lot of them, like Washington Terrace, for example, it's a bedroom community for the most part. They can do a lot of really good, this month to this month comparisons on cases go up, go down, but up here fluctuates so fastly.
Yeah.
That those would be misleading information, I guess. Because if we were to pull, for example, all theft type calls for all of first quarter and then compare it to second quarter, it'll look like there's a huge theft problem that already started up.
Well,
So, and to help with that, my plan is, and it would be hard this year, but we can start doing a little bit better in the future, doing comparisons.
yeah,
So it's really
like Q1 2025 to Q1 2026.
correct.
Yeah.
So where the numbers that I'm pulling for 25, I'm pretty confident are 100% accurate. I didn't want to give comparisons that would look misleading. But now that we have the Ogden Valley City Code in our Spillman system, all the calls within the city get coded as that, as opposed to different random things. So all the data is in one place. We have a way to run comparison reports where I can just put a time frame in or two different time frames and it'll pull all the comparisons out.
Okay.
So that going forward will be fairly easy to do, but it won't be accurate trying to do it right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. I think this was a good start. I'd like to make sure we do this quarterly.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
look at it, we have a baseline, so as we continue as a city, we can look at just like what you just said. Also, this is great information to be able to go further into the newspaper, so whether it's getting with one of the council members in charge of law enforcement or Councilmember Hoagland, who's in charge of communications, to be able to transfer some of this data into information that's digestible to the public. As well as the heads up, because we know, based off of looking at those stats and traffic, citations or accidents or even deaths go up at certain times of the year when we have an influx of people and people out on the lake and things. So maybe we do preventative articles and things like that as well.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
perfect. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And then I've got something. Oh, if there's certain type of call types that you guys want tracked or anything like that, let me know and I can earmark that and keep a good eye on it. So if there's something that you're, I know, like one thing we're gonna be watching is the dumping and the littering type calls, because that's already been identified and has apparently been an issue for years, just no one wanted to report it. So keeping track on those things kind of longer term and overall to see if any efforts you're making a difference in it. So yeah, if over time, doesn't have to be now, doesn't have to be whenever, it's pretty easy backwards, go find that stuff. But if there's a certain call type or topic of issue that you want to see like comparisons on and all that, just let me know and we can pull it up.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, LT.
Send us the.
I have a copy of the.
Yeah.
Alright, done. Thank you very much. Alright, item number 5, discussion on consent items. This is to save them for tomorrow night. Any corrections or discussion we had on the myriad of minutes?
I sent one to Sharon, so.
Perfect. Anybody else have anything that wasn't sent over that you needed to make note of? Approval of payments, so this is a new process that's going on rather than just the invoices, there's a full kind of report coming out of Cassell now. Anybody have questions on any of that?
Yeah, we're, there, it said it was attached and I wasn't able to open anything.
I'm attached. See. There's it. And I can always follow up with you after.
Yeah.
Does everybody else get it? It was only,
I've seen it before, so I didn't.
it wasn't like I attached it as a full PDF.
It said it was attached.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Okay, alright, we'll go back and look at that. Anything on, okay, I've seen some new emails about the Beacon Code contract. What's going on there?
We are posting notice that we are, we have granted the contract, but we have to really wait for a 5-day period to allow people who are bidders to protest if they want to. And after that, we can then authorize you, mayor, to go ahead and negotiate and sign a contract. So we have to wait for the waiting period, and all that has been posted.
So we're gonna take it off
So
the,
we're removing it from tomorrow's agenda. Business licenses, any comments or questions?
No, they're just ready to be.
Okay, and.
Oh,
Good.
you guys.
So tomorrow that'll just be an easy consent. I figure you're approving them since you have sent them to me for approval. Alright, then item number 6, discussion of the floodplain ordinance.
Again, I did not get that.
Alright, you all worked on this?
we can do two things. What it is we failed to carry forward Weaver County's floodplain ordinance when we did our municipal code in January. We have to, as an entity, have to say, here's how we're managing the floodplain, which means off the river banks. We can either, it's routine. What Corbin wrote was, we hereby adopt Weaver County's title, whatever it is. So we can either do it tomorrow and keep it on the agenda, or we can delay it till the 5th. But if you didn't get it, you read it.
If it is routine, I think we can keep it on the agenda.
I would. Now, JUB is going to offer some changes for the future because they have now read it in their floodplain guide, has some things that they would suggest we change. But we can do that just as a modification of the ordinance at some later date.
If he,
I found this out 30 minutes, or an hour ago.
I'd say let's defer it and then do it all at once.
Yeah.
If he or she is going to give a few changes, let them do it.
Okay, so let's take it off the agenda. Corbin, I'm gonna have you and Nate Smith talk. JUB's got some recommended edits to what you wrote. Not that what you wrote was bad, but they've got some edits based as they're the experts on floodplains, okay?
And then we'll get the edited version.
Yeah, but we'll do it the 5th of May, at our next one. Yeah, we'll remove it from tomorrow's agenda. We'll have the conversation on the 4th.
Okay. In that case, item number 7, discussion of the resolution adopting electronic signature. Councilmember Cohen, do you wanna introduce it?
Just, we have a roadblock, in terms of contracts and ordinances and resolutions that need signature, but our people are scattered throughout the Intermountain West sometimes. Corbin is up in Heber City. Mark Elback, attorney, is in Marion Slaterville. And our mayor is here, and so it occurred to me, we should really investigate using electronic signatures. Corbin, you can chime in if you want to, those signatures are accepted in terms of what state law requires municipalities, whether they're contractual or ordinance. And so Corbin was kind enough to prepare a resolution allowing us to do that.
So again, I haven't seen it. But a question, so if you have an electronic signature, they're scattered. Could you just have them sign, scan and send it back?
Good things about things like DocuSign and Adobe has a signature process, they have record of signature.
Right.
So someone just can take a picture of the signature and put it on a contract. It goes through a verification process, so you know a person who signs that or approves the electronic signature is the person who's supposed to be signing it.
As opposed to
Yes.
signing it and scanning it and sending it.
Oh, yeah, scanning it, you can scan it back and forth, but then you end up with multiple signature pages because the people are signing at different times. And so in our early, for example, interlocal agreements, we often will have the agreement and then the signed pages are all different pages depending on the locale and when they get signed. It's much nicer to get it clean, documented signatures, same signatures on the same document.
Okay.
Okay.
And in terms of where that is, Corbin sent it. And has
I'm
it,
forwarding it all right now
okay,
to everybody.
it's not controversial, and I was happy to see how easy it is.
Well, they do it when you sign for your taxes.
You bet, you can do mortgages based on it, so it's a good thing.
All right, so that was number 7, number 8. Okay, back to land use. Here it is, 308. All right, agenda item 8, discussion of planning commission's recommended land use items. So we have them all listed out. I am more than happy to shuffle them around whichever way you want to start. The 3 of you present the quorum, which we are not taking action right now, but if we want to be able to move through some of the stuff.
So we've got 4 people in the audience who are here to provide background on a couple of them if we get there, but I think we need a decision on what we're gonna do with the general plan. Personally, I think we need to discuss and decide on the land use, the zoning map today. Assuming that we got an answer from the one other. Yeah, so at a minimum, I would like to accomplish, here's what the zoning map's gonna look like. And here's how to approach the general plan. The 3 of us provided comments to Brian. Brian has put all of those comments into the document. A holy grail, and I'm not talking about the movie, would be tomorrow night. The 3 of us vote on an edited final GP general plan and get that sucker out of here because it's gotta be done. In the audience, I have the Stoker family who represent one of the 2 zoned gravel parcels in this valley, which is relevant to the zoning map discussion. And I also have Tyler Lobshire. Ty is the committee chair of the agricultural committee subcommittee on land use codes, and he's here to talk through the agricultural committee's suggested edits to AB3 and FEs. So if we can get through those 4 things, we're doing darn good. And we eventually need to decide when we're gonna vote on all these things.
Those 4 things were general plan zoning map, 83, what?
FE3. And well, and I'm ready to talk RA 1520 as well as this K and all in case
As long as, yeah, is, we have Ryan on, who's also,
right.
he can narrate and talk about some of the changes.
So Brian or Corbin, is the zoning map necessary for the general plan, yes or no?
You mean, what's the question?
Do we have to have a final zoning map put in our general plan? It is in our general plan. Do we need it? Yes or no? The reason it's a timing thing to talk about the general plan first or the zoning map.
You have to have an approved zoning map in order to approve a general plan, I believe is what he
Yes,
said.
stated slightly different. Are they chewing them? Are they still here?
Brian, sorry.
Oh, down here.
Sorry, I'm here. Sorry. Were you asking me or you asking Brian? I'm sorry.
Who are the two experts?
Yeah,
One,
so you can adopt the zoning map. You can adopt your zones first, but they don't go into effect until you adopt your zoning map. And so, I mean, you can work on them, but you're going to, so it's a chicken before the egg. You can go in and do work on all of them, but until you get your zoning map in place, you have no idea where they're applicable.
do the zoning map first.
Yeah, but that wasn't the question.
It wasn't a question.
Let's look at the zoning map.
Let's be done with the zoning.
I also though have a question, we haven't gotten all the zones yet. And all the changes that they need in the zones. So. I'd say yeah, we may make suggestions for some parcels that should be changed to X zone or Y zone, but we have not yet seen what the planning commission may have produced. For example, CV, the business zones,
CD2.
yeah, CV2. You know, I know some people view CV2 as an appropriate alternative. To come out of form-based, but I just realized in reviewing this morning. We don't have CV2 yet reviewed, do we?
We do not have the draft zoning ordinance for all of the potential zones.
I would say, what we could do is. We can do the plan, subject to the changes and approvals of the map and zones. And then I think we can look at the map. And say, we're good on this, but at that time we can say, you know, we really haven't heard yet what they're recommending on CV2, it may change. So it's cautious, I'd say we jump in and do the plan first.
I agree.
Agreed.
And we can,
I understand, we have 3 people sitting in the audience who are affected by a decision on the zoning map, whether or not we're gonna keep gravel on it.
let's talk about that first as a courtesy.
Okay.
As a courtesy. Okay, so from the planning commission was proposed to get rid of the zone G gravel. And Brian, be ready to jump in. There are 2 parcels in the city that were zone G gravel under Weaver County. One is in Tia's district, one is in my district. As a matter of principle, we did not have any confirmation that either of the landowners had received notification that the planning commission, other than maybe they received a card and maybe they went and looked at the library that there was going to be a zoning change. I asked Brian to send a certified letter to both of the addresses to ensure that they were informed that the planning commission had suggested change. Your resident responded, my resident responded. Yours said, fine, he's okay going to 83. Ours, the Stokers, which are now Skylar, Brady, sorry Brady, you're sitting back there. And I'm gonna put words in you guys' mouth, I'll invite you to talk if need be. They do not desire to go to 83. So that leaves us, either we keep zone G or we rezone to something else. And talking with Brian Carver, the 2 most appropriate based on the historical use of their property would be manufacturing or CV2 Commercial Valley. For those of you not familiar with the property, it's on Stoker Lane over in the Middle Inlet area. In the 1950s, the gravel from there was used to build Pine View Reservoir. 3 generations of this family have operated that land, that property as a business doing things around here. So I think it's important that we recognize that they have used it in a commercial operation under GE for years. So I'm going to recommend that either we keep it as G or we rezone to M or CB, whichever is the most appropriate based on what Brian and the scopers discuss and that we feel is most appropriate. Now, our general plan does not, it would suggest that an M or a CB would be in a village area, not where this is, which is Middle Inlet, Stover Lane. But this land has been used since the 1950s as a commercial, industrial, my word, operation. And I personally have no problem with rezoning it either M or CB2.
And what, or CB2?
Manufacturing. Whatever manufacturing's acronym is.
What's on it right now? Not your name description, like what's actually on it, what are you guys doing? Yeah.
So basically what we're doing is use that for a transfer station right now.
Transfer station.
So we're bringing the big haul trucks over trappers, dumping it. Then the smaller trucks take it to the confined areas or public to use it. And we haven't ever charged anybody for using it. This has just been granted, just to let us and the public have access. But since this is coming up now, we'll probably do like the charge or clean it up.
Okay, can you state your name for us for the record?
Oh,
please?
Val Stalker.
Okay, thank you.
So you've had the public utilizing that property and dumping things, or
Say that again.
so it hasn't just been private, the public has in fact been,
We're just under contract.
oh, okay.
Contract.
So, for example, when the fiber optic push came,
Mhm.
the fiber optic companies, All West, B Jackson, they used it to store the reels of their conduit, some bedding material, their boxes, right? So we try not to let it, so like anything that comes from a back truck or, there's no waste dumped there, right? So it takes clean field, there's no trees, there's no concrete, no asphalt, but most of it's been filled in from excavation in the Wolf Creek area because it was mined below the river at one point prior to us.
Yeah.
So, but it's more storage for projects in the valley, because there's no lay down yards, there's no room. You can't put it in the subdivision streets of Wolf Creek,
Mhm.
right? People would be tipped over. So, and we use it over there, so then it's just bulk gets delivered there, and it leaves there, gets ready loaded and leaves them.
Has it ever been used for mining or gravel?
Yes, and so yeah, like the fifties.
That's good.
Yeah, it it was mine just before my dad passed away.
What did they mine?
Huh?
What did they mine?
Gravel,
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, it was used.
road products, gravel, road back products, material. Pressure, several pressures been in there.
did you, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you have nearby neighbors for whom that's disturbing? If you were to do gravel again?
Oh, the gravel pit was there for that.
So
There you go.
Yeah, that's-
back in the closest resident was Russell Peterson, who since moved out of here. Right, and it was Ray Peterson and my grandpa that started it. So at one point, the closest residents were the two people that started. Does that make sense? And then as people said, oh, yes, there's Russell Peterson's house has been updated, it's a new owner. Ivan Quist's house was there that started it too. Ivan's passed on, it's under new owner. So yes, there are houses within proximity. But we're not mining anymore, does that make sense? You don't have the vending and the crusher all the time. Yes, you do have trucks that will come in or dump, like large trucks that can't come up the canyon anymore. And it's more feasible to hire big trucks to come over trappers than sending little trucks up and down the canyon, right?
It sounds much more like manufacturing. You get
Well,
trucks
I mean,
going in and out and.
I don't know what the bylaws or what manufacturing states, but we need to be able to have some sort of equipment there or access to big trucks to unload large quantities to ship out smaller. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We've even had big equipment hauled in or travelers and the smaller transporters even haul the equipment back. So all the contractors around Parsons, everybody knows about this area.
There's a need for it.
So Dominion Energy uses it, Rocky Mountain Power uses it to store power poles, like, and with my line of work, I do a lot with Dominion Energy, so they know that they can. There's a gas leak in the Ogden Valley, and it's late, they know they can go get you in there for the night, leave, gather up in the morning, be done. And it's just kind of a general understanding.
I'm just, what does, cause it sounds like there's a lot of storage going on right now,
Temporary storage.
temporary storage.
So you'll have a stockpile, then a week or two later, it's gone.
Yeah, so this is a gravel zone, right? And as I understand.
Yeah, we're not mining gravel no more.
And so that's where I'm wondering, like, it sounds like you're bringing the gravel in so that people
Correct, it's,
can get
like I
it.
said, it's like a transfer.
Yeah, more of a transfer station.
But we're not selling it, it's not being sold necessarily to the residents, it'll be a large quantity comes in for, say, a sewer project, it's not like we don't have neighbors come to us with dump trailers trying to, it's not a Sandy's operation by any means, right, or a landscape operation. It's get it there, the quantity there that leaves in dump trucks that can get into other newer subdivisions, right? Says if everybody that built a subdivision brought it up on 10-wheeler, it's gonna be astronomical trucking costs, right?
You guys had mentioned to me the other day other potential business opportunities. Tell me about them that this city might be interested in. Parking.
Parking.
So, I mean, we've been approached to do parking.
Yeah.
I always wanted to do a restaurant, but I don't know if I could cook enough. But there's a lot of things to do, but we're interested in entertaining the ideas of whatever we could do to keep the new city happy with, so I think one thing is mitigate traffic in Ogden Canyon, trucks and trailers, right? Like, we all know that it's really hard to get materials in here, out of here. You have basically your 3 roads, traffic, Canyon, or Ogden Divide, now you got side up Storm Divide, which is astronomical, right? The parking in Middle Inlet's a shit show. I mean, like I live there, I don't like it. I'm the first one to complain, and so I mean, I'm gonna break you. So the Forest Service and Mr. Burton approached me a couple of years ago, asking if I'd entertain, maybe they're seeing them building a parking lot, and they kind of support it to alleviate the parking on Middle Inlet. But
Yeah, what parking?
yeah, we thought about that, but then we start thinking about liability and people.
It's always the people.
So right now, our best fit right now is what it's being used for.
The gravel money, the gravel zone you feel is the best bet.
Well,
I don't know whether the way they're using it actually matches the gravel.
I
It
don't
doesn't
think, I think we're doing as a ground zone, other than we can
It doesn't match 8 to 3.
No, but it might, it sounds more like manufacturing.
It sounds like,
Yeah.
yeah.
MV1, not MV2, MV1, this is Weaver County Code, which the planning commission looks at it, bring it over to us, it's light manufacturing, light intensity and associated uses. Sounds like trucking in and out would be that, but that sounds like what matches for what you're doing, but the other CV2 is,
May I make a recommendation?
sure.
We have a planner, he's on the phone. Well, no, let's have the planner and the landowners talk and make a recommendation to us tomorrow what they think would be an appropriate zone,
Sounds
so that we can make a decision.
Brian, are you on?
Yes, I'm here.
Right? Okay,
So that we can be done with one issue.
I would be
I know how badly everybody wants to be done with an issue, but there are potential consequences to rushing something. And if it's going to cause new roads to be put in or something like that in order to make that fit the right, that should be aware. Otherwise, they might say, hey, sure, we'll rezone it, and then all of a sudden they're on the hook.
Right. So that's the planner should go, now, these ordinances have not been passed out of
Correct.
that other place, planning commission. Which is why I go back sometimes to, do we need the zoning map done to do everything else? So, but in the short term, let's have the planner talk with the landowners about the options and make a recommendation to us. That doesn't mean we're gonna agree to it, but let's have, I'm not saying we don't like you guys, but we gotta make sure it's the right thing for the city. Does that make sense to everybody?
It does,
It does.
yeah. And I
Because I don't think the gravel fits in.
yeah,
It does.
no one likes the name grab. So
Okay.
that's. You wanna
So-
Suit your use.
Ryan, you have Mr. Stoker's phone number, yes or no?
Yes, I do. I've got all three of their phone numbers and email addresses from the email that you sent me.
You have a homework assignment. What is your homework assignment?
I will contact them this afternoon and we will discuss options to present to you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
I have no idea you were in education. Homework.
Nobody leaves my meetings without homework assignments. Thank you for coming, Stoker.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
You bet.
Good to see you.
All right, let's go to the other two. FE3 to 83 in my district and form base. Which one do we want to go to next?
First. I think yours is easier.
Okay, so you guys are free to hang out and watch the sausage be made or get the heck out of here, whatever you want to
You
do.
think you're gonna listen to this one?
All right, so hopefully we'll get time to, all right. All right, so the planning commission recommended to us that a good chunk of District 5 be rezoned from FE3 to AD3. Based on Ryan's summary to us, because it made more sense, given the nature of the properties, for it to be 83, they're down on the valley floor by Southport. I have every reason to believe that the planning commission was acting with good intent. I have a problem personally with blanket rezoning without hearing first from the property owners that they in fact want to rezone their property. And so lesson learned for the planning commission, the planner and us, that perhaps when we're talking significant major change, we first reach out and ask the landowners what they would like to do versus come up with an idea. And everything was done legally, that the notices were made, the public hearing would happen, but the problem is landowners are now in a defensive position. You're gonna do what? So anyways, I have talked to many people in my district that would be affected. Many have come to me and said they do not wish to be rezoned from FE3 to AD3. They had plans for their property and or are using specific allowable uses under the Weber County Code. I had one landowner and he came here and he spoke to us and he spoke to the planning commission, Bill White, who owns the former monastery, and he said he would be for the rezoning of the parcels that are currently zoned FE3 to AD3 from the monastery. So it is my opinion, as the council person representing these people, that we do not do the blanket rezone as proposed by the planning commission. And that if we were to do any rezoning at this time, it would be what Mr. White has offered to happen, which was to rezone his FE3 to AD3. Mr. White is not adamant that it be done right now. He's just stated, well, it makes sense to me. I'm already growing stuff. It's already a farm. So he's okay doing that rezone. So you've heard from me what my three things are. One, no blanket rezone. Two, if I guess it's two things, no blanket rezone. And if Mr. White, if we want to, we rezone what Mr. White's FE3 are to 83, period.
So,
Questions?
what is the difference between a blanket rezone. And then the people who want to do, as I understand it, the difference between FE3 and AB3, and that I, in my reading and everything, and maybe somebody needs to correct me. The one thing I saw was that you can't do a bed and breakfast in AB3. That's the one thing I saw. I don't know if there's anything else, but, why? What would be the difference between a blanket rezone and then, and this is very naive of me, maybe. And then just, if somebody wants to apply for a different.
Right, so that actually was my number 3, thank you, because I forgot my number 3. Number 3 is, we of course remind all property owners that they can apply for a rezone in the future once we have created the zones and the zoning ordinances. So anybody could come and petition the planning commission and us to rezone from what they are to a different zone. So that would be the way to do this under regular order. If you want to change from FE3 to A3, come to us through the planning commission and we'll consider it a rezone. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because in the way I did, because the planning commission proposed this across the board rezone. Did that answer your question?
It did. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, how many people are opposing this? How many people are not?
To me, if a single person proposed it, is enough for me. I'm not willing to dictate to these property owners what their zone should be without them coming to us and saying, this is what I want this zone to be. And I've got at least 10 who have come to me and said, I do not want to be 83.
My advice, since that's what I'm allowed to provide here. My advice is simply that where we can help it. I'm not in favor of the government changing anybody's property rights or property designation. I think it should be property owner led wherever it can be. Something like not forwarding or keeping a zone from when we were unincorporated to incorporation. That's a different story because we're not gonna adopt it. We have to figure something out for that parcel. But if we are keeping the zones that we're talking about, let the homeowner come in and ask for a rezone. Do not rezone someone just because it makes sense to you or you think it flows better. Let it be property owner driven. That's my advice.
So where it's an FE3 right now, somebody wants to rezone to AB3.
They come on.
They go in under regular order and just do it that way.
Yeah. That way you know, even because as he said, even if there's one person, then it just doesn't feel good for the government to inform you they're changing what you can do on your property. So just let it be property owner driven is my recommendation. Yes, ma'am.
Stepping back. No, even listening to this and the use of blanket rezone terminology takes me back to January 2nd, when we were incorporated, and what did we need from the planning commission in order to enact this law? We needed land use code, we needed general plan, and we needed that. And some of what's come up, like this one, is a broader rezone, broader than that focused goal. Like, let's adopt it. It encompassed re-examining the existing zone and saying, well, this would be better for that zone. Yet that wasn't initiated by a landowner. It took away perceived rights, actual rights, who knows? Did it take away some value? Who knows? But it was not landowner initiated. And also, my rules of thumb here are simple: do no harm. And if there's not a problem, don't fix it. And to me, this falls within, this could be a good idea, but it might be better considered as part of a broader initiative where we focus on that. We're focusing on the total valley. It's almost too much to swallow while looking at broad rezones.
So I recommend we keep it as is, as was.
Yep.
Under Weaver County, the Arizona FE3, under the prior zoning map of Weaver County. And then they can come under regular order and request rezone at their leisure.
And you would accommodate Mr. White's preference, or you're indifferent?
I'm indifferent. If it's easiest for us to just sweep it over like it was under Weaver County, Mr. White is not gonna complain about that, he'll come under regular order. So I say keep things simple.
Right, so let's keep it simple.
Right, there we go. Form base.
Form based.
Can we do one, like, what happened with the manufacturing housing, or the mobile home?
That didn't come.
They did advance that.
They did not advance it.
Oh, I thought they did, okay.
No, they did not advance it. They had a change of heart rate after.
And I think that's good, because that may contribute to moderate housing, so what is your form base?
Can I do an introduction?
Yes,
So what we received from the planning commission was basically a blanket. Well, not a blanket, but from. All Form Bs were proposed to be rezoned to the zone that was prior to Weaver County. Rezoning it to Form Base. So some went back to AV3, some went to FV3, some went to what? What we did not have again was the planning commission reaching out to the property owners and saying, do you want to change? They made a decision. We had some input from affected property owners, Mr. Dunleavy being one of them. Kay and I and Brian and Corbin spoke Thursday evening, Friday evening, I don't remember. And we actually started calling the property owners and said, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
To hear from them. So I'm gonna let Kay walk through all the property owners and hear what we've been told.
Right, and again, you know. On an overview basis, no one loved form-based zoning. Even those who utilized it said there are some problems with it, they can identify it. So on the surface, it sounds good, let's take it away, let's remove it. There are a couple of ways you can do it. One, it would be keep it and fix it. And the other one is to look at alternative zones. That might be more suitable until we can get a so-called village-based zone that looks at smaller, villages, cluster developments, whatnot, and I know that's the wrong word. So instead of doing the macro, we said, let's do the map and see what these form-based properties are, and it was a surprise. There are about 5 of them, and so we decided we're gonna go talk one by one. And so we did that and got feedback from each of them. Let's start with Nordic, and I apologize, I don't have the By Capital. Heard back from them just this morning. Now, the proposal was to change these form-based units to what they had been before being form-based. They said they're just fine with going back to AV3 or whatever. Because they said all our rights are vested in the development contract and in other means of vesting. And it wouldn't jeopardize their business or their plans in any way. So they're okay with AV3, which was the recommendation of the planning commission. FV3.
They're a little hilly.
Okay,
Forest.
it's an FV3, he said, we're fine with whatever.
Okay.
Then we have a little development called Dog and Bone. I talked with Justin Pat and Sean Clegg, the folks who are working on that. They said, we're okay to change to AV3. They only did form-based because they had been interested in some TDR transfers, which they secured, but they have no further density plans. So they are okay with AV3.
This is the 21 acre, 20 period, 1 acre, single family housing over by 8 acres.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is good to go to AV3. We then talked to Zane Four, whose father had this in trust, Zane Four Senior, and after consultations with his mother, he said, we are okay going to CB2. It is commercial by nature and location.
So they're no longer looking to do apartments above.
as he said, CB2, we didn't talk about.
CB2,
And also, what was Burtonsville?
CBR one, mixed use commercial with residential. CB2, I believe, is just commercial period, which that's great, but I hope he understands that.
Okay, I'll count him back, CBR2, just to see.
No,
CBR one.
CB2 versus CBR one,
Okay,
CBR being residential.
okay. CBR1.
Yep.
Just to make sure, but he also said, as long as you have an open door about zoning differently, if we have something different, which. That may be just fine, he said CB2 was fine, I'd say stay with it.
I agree, because CBR one actually comes with a lot of density.
Yeah, exactly, okay. Eden Crossing, which actually were the first people to bring up concerns about this. Yes, they have a development agreement that confers vested rights. The reason may jeopardize or put in court perils of their financing, and they prefer CB2. So that's their feedback. And one owner of a small parcel was not reachable by phone, by email.
Is this the just single family home?
Just
Yeah.
the Davis,
Just tiny.
the Davis.
So that is where we are. And those all seem to be, all the homeowners were reasonable, flexible, and acknowledge, yeah, there's, people don't like what had gone on with form-based necessarily, and so they're flexible about what we need to do, and those are the recommendations we ended up with.
So, and I was making notes, Doug and Bone said it's fine to go with whatever, because.
Yeah,
They've
they have all their plans.
Yeah,
They're
well,
fine.
they wanna go lots of.
Yep.
Okay, alright, so basically what you're reporting is that when you talk to everybody that is currently form-based, everybody had an existing zone that they were okay with. So that as a temporary stopgap, you can go with it, with something that currently exists versus
Yeah.
waiting to
Yeah.
build something.
Great value.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah, and a couple of them noted, yeah, we need some kind of valley, or some kind of village zone.
we do if we want to go.
Yeah, okay,
So what this accomplishes is form-based zone goes away. What this accomplishes is form-based zone goes away,
and
and the property owners have affirmed to us that they're okay with a Weaver County existing zone. We have not adopted any of the zoning ordinances for these, but presumably they won't change much. Hopefully we'll be able to talk about FE3 to AB3 here after we talk about this. Zoning, so those are the three proposed changes that came to us from the planning commission: gravel, FE3 to AB3, and form base. And we have a solution for every one of them. The solution with the gravel is the Stokers and the planner will talk, and we'll get a recommendation from the planner.
and I would submit we should vote on this tomorrow, get moving, to the extent we can.
It is my preference to do that tomorrow.
And also I wanna say, good on our council members for reaching out to the landowners and hearing from them, and being receptive to that.
Yeah. Good on you guys for.
Yeah, you did it too, Tia.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of thing we want.
So with that, I know I'm prepared to vote tomorrow on one each zoning map. I think Kay is, and I don't want to speak for you, Tia. So we do want to talk the general plan today, and if we have time, I would love to give the floor to Ty Loveshire to talk about what the Ag Committee would like to see in 83 and 83.
Okay.
How long can we possibly, or we've got a quarter hour left on what we plan to do.
Let's go to the bitter end. How far can we go? 5:30?
Do we need to save time for the recorder and people to do an amendment to tomorrow's meeting?
Or taking something off the agenda.
No, take us on, that's fine. In the beginning of this meeting, Corbin, and I believe, Councilmember Hoagland agrees with him, adding resolutions.
Then, yeah, I mean.
Do you need time?
Which one is that?
This was the ordinance allowing for persons to begin the permitting process.
You had said you weren't quite ready.
I think we should defer that. And we could talk about it in general comments at the end,
Well,
but I'm not ready to vote in anything. I don't give a right.
It's not an amendment, it doesn't need to be on the agenda for.
So this is the point, it's not on the agenda, period. So if you wanna talk about it tomorrow, it would need to be on the agenda, whether you vote on it.
Do we, if it can be talked about in the work session, talk about it now? No, let's move it to next week. Really?
well, Corbin's point was either we do it tomorrow or it doesn't do us anybody any good, assuming that we roll back the moratorium on or about the 5th of May. What he's got is a way to give people 2 weeks additional time to begin their permitting process if we do what he suggests. I haven't read it, I'm not willing to vote on it, but the option is quickly have Sharon and Corbin modify.
It's not that quick.
I know, so
It's
Absolutely,
like,
we'll pass on.
I think it's too late
if
personally.
it's critical, after we've read it, we can schedule a special meeting.
You can schedule, I mean, this place has other time available to meet.
Yeah.
Or we could schedule a different meeting at a different time.
Okay.
So Corbin has sent it to us, we can all read it and talk.
Right, so what that does is allow you to go longer with this discussion, because we don't have to cut out time for that.
Okay.
And. Okay.
How about staff?
Yes,
What's your
staff.
schedule look like?
I'm gonna be out.
She's out. And then
No, I know you're not.
Hey,
I mean today, they're talking about staying after 4 o'clock.
yeah.
Is that all right with you guys? Or are you gonna quit on us if we do?
Yeah.
okay,
No, I think we can, I believe we usually stay here until 5 anyway.
Okay,
so if we're gonna do the general plan, let's agree on how we're gonna do it. What we've got is a Word document that Ryan put together that includes comments from Pia, comments from Don, comments from Kay, and presumably comments from Peggy. And
Peggy did send in comments.
Peggy did, she did. She referred to them at our last work session.
Brian said she did it, I think. Brian, should you get them? They're not in.
Okay, so what Peggy did is she shared with us, I don't know if she shared with Brian, but she was reminded to share with Brian a week ago at our meeting, whether or not she did, but I don't want to put words in her mouth, but I'm gonna paraphrase what she said. De-emphasize TDRs, make sure form-based doesn't exist.
I think we can.
And I think we can accomplish them.
Let's go.
So should we have Brian pull up said document? And we focus our attention not on all 100 and something pages, but on the guts to be fixed, and then give him a specific homework on what he has to do between now and a time tomorrow to provide us a cleaned up, we could vote on copy.
I have a suggestion, because focusing just on those 2 points or high points. There are still some important things that didn't transfer into the edits. I think it would be good to go page by page, up until the point where he gets into the demographic and statistical data.
May I suggest we start with what Peggy was concerned about, give her the courtesy because she's not here, which was land use where TDRs exist. If we start there, go with those comments and then go either backwards or forwards in the document and see how far we go.
Okay, let's go.
And can we agree to save 10 minutes minimum to have Ty speak to the proposed changes in 83 and FE3?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Brian, are you ready? Brian?
He's sharing for.
He's sharing, there we go. Go to the land use section. This is a 150 megabyte document, which makes it so slow to manipulate on these slow laptops. Okay. So, Brian, your job is to make sure Weaver County does not exist except where it needs to exist as a two-word phrase in this document going forward. Do you agree? Because we keep finding inadvertently things that should now say Ogden Valley. Do you agree?
I do agree, and
Okay. All you had to do is agree. It's your
Yep.
homework. Okay, go down to the land use section, wherever it is. Right about, there you
Okay.
go. Okay,
It's on page, well, they're like 315s and that.
right.
Okay, page number 2.
So those tables stay or go away?
I would keep them, but we're going to need to revise them once we decide which zones we're going to keep.
Thus my question multiple times, do the zones matter for the? So go ahead.
Well,
We know we've got to revise them, right?
we could strike these from the document right now and then add them later.
Exactly. Let's do that.
You are hereby told to do that. That's your homework assignment.
Okay.
Okay, what we see tomorrow's gotta have that struck. Okay. Go on down to where the meat is.
We get to the goals and policies.
Here, yep, all these hard to read tables and graphs. All right, here we go. Go to the comments, please. Show the comments.
There you go.
All right. So this is where the offending term TDR show up, that first one, right? Or not? I can't read it from where
Let's see.
I'm going.
There we
What
go.
I have recommended is take out that whole thing and come up with a simple phrase. I don't recall what Peggy said. I have to get up there and read it.
You're correct. Peggy's direction was not terribly specific. It just said fix TDRs.
Right.
I thought she was writing a paragraph.
Do you want to make sure that we have the definition of the TDR?
There's a definition in the definition ordinance, so we don't need to define it in the. I don't believe we need to define it in the. Okay, so go to my comment, please, Brian. Is that it right there?
Sure. Yeah, this is it right here. So your recommendation was to delete the principles under this goal and restate them with the new language in principle 1.1, introducing TDR as a tool, but not the only tool, and limiting the sending values to something that meets the objectives and values of the community better.
I see no reason to keep all those words except to honor all the hard work that was done in 2016. But we also have to have a mechanism to get through this.
Take it out. Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying
You
to.
still have bonus density in there.
I recommend taking out all of 1.1 and its subparagraphs where bonus density shows up once and it shows up again elsewhere. And
Are you recommending, just a minute, are you recommending taking 1.1 out or 1.1.1?
yes, take all of that out and have a simple statement that we recognize transfer development rights are a tool to manage the general plan, however we want to say it.
Even, well, are TDRs mentioned in 1.1?
There's,
Councilman's job.
no, I'm just trying to find where I said leave it, but I'm not sure this one, because 1.4.
Because this is good. In general, additional density shouldn't be used.
Right.
Okay,
But what's the next sentence of 1.1?
I'm okay leaving that in and taking 1.1.1 out as long as TDRs are mentioned somewhere else as a tool.
Okay,
Therefore, they exist.
now, the second sentence in 1.1
Should be doing.
Let's talk about both density bonuses. Do you wanna take it out?
I've asked 4 times for it to be taken.
Make it go
Let's take
away.
it out. Let's take density bonus with that.
Tell Brian what to do.
I've
Take
done it,
out
and it's done.
everything after the first sentence, 1.1.
Do you want to keep the first sentence?
Keep the first sentence, yeah.
Show it in not markup so we can see what it actually reads like.
There we go.
This is how the sausage is made.
This is what we should do. Okay,
That's given to us by the planning commission in a much better form.
yeah.
That's what we should have.
1.1.2, let's keep looking. That also mentions density bonus.
If I remember,
Take it out.
take it out, get rid of that entire subject.
Okay.
Okay, make it go away. Make it go away. We don't want to read it. Make it go away so. So we can see a final, okay, now, 1.2.
So wait, what about that red line? What about that? It wasn't struck, is it in or out 1.1.2? This may entail reconsidering. the use-
1.2.1,
1.1.2,
it went away.
it went away, okay.
So 1.2. There we go.
No, that one goes away, make it go away.
1.1.2.
1.1.2 is no longer there.
Right,
Okay.
okay.
1.2. Somebody scratched out will not be available for transfer.
Percentage.
I don't know why that was scratched out,
Well, you can click on it and find out.
right?
Oh, please don't.
I would recommend that it be in there.
This is 1.2.1,
Mm-hmm.
nor will be available for transfer.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it back in.
There we go. It's hereby done.
You got that, Brian?
Yeah, we just made it so.
Perfect.
Click on that X of my comment, Brian, we don't need to read it anymore.
That's good to see comments though.
There will be others, but we don't need to read that one, there we go. Okay? Keep going down, Brian.
1.3.1.
What's that?
1.3.1.
Yeah, we're going down, go down, 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 there we go, stop. 1.3.1.
I don't see any.
Just
Changes
accept,
to
the city accept it, so it's not red and struck.
He needs to go back and accept all of those city ones, you can do it now, Brian, too.
There.
But your job between now and when you choose to do this is to get us the final draft version tomorrow.
All right.
Keep going, down, 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 down. Alright. 1.4.
1.4.2 or 1.4, yeah.
Okay,
Somebody.
I withdraw this moment here, we don't need all that CDR language. So I recommend getting rid of 1.4.2.
I recommend keeping it,
Okay,
First up, yeah.
go ahead, why?
because in reading it, it just tells you what would be in an ordinance for TDRs. And it says create a transfer development rights ordinance. Why would we take that out?
The only reason I would is because Peggy doesn't want a long paragraph about TDRs.
I think it's good,
But,
we're gonna make the TDR ordinance anyway.
right,
I thought I had some good ideas and I thought this might have been introduced. Against the will of the people who had written the original plan, but then when I read it, it's like, this sounds like a good outline of what a TDR
Yeah,
ordinance should do.
Well, that's 3 people there.
there we go, keep it,
Keep it,
keep it, Brian.
and in fact, yeah. Accept.
This is hard.
I make sure I get the
I agree with.
may versus shall. Thank you.
Why wouldn't we
You
keep
have
that
to.
database?
Yeah, this is smart.
I would do it.
So we're missing a word.
Yep.
That he's got highlighted, and the rural character of the.
He's right, or itemizing.
Or did we tell them to keep the 1.4, so just 2 years?
Or is it just city?
Keep the above. Both of them still up there. And
Oh, no, he isn't.
is he taking?
You just get that, right, Brian? In 1.4,
Yep,
sections DDRs, is it in or out? It should be in.
I think it should be in based on what you're telling me.
Yeah, is it in, yes or no?
It is in, yes.
Down.
No, there's still a word missing.
Oh, there's a word missing, hang on.
There's a word missing.
Brian doesn't. This
Yeah, I know. Scroll.
Up.
Up. Where'd it go?
In fact, 1.4.3, I'd like to actually change.
What'd you say, Ty?
1.4.1, the last sentence is what you're looking for.
You overlying term would,
It says, and the rural character of the.
so Ty, is that would ascending to us?
To require,
Yep, so what do we want it to say?
recommend.
I would like to change would require to recommend and not be,
Or encourage. is probably
not be
correct.
directive, but allow for.
Would allow.
The overlay zone. Overlay zone.
So may allow or something like that, not be prescriptive. What word did we use, Ty? I don't remember. Encourage.
What is he filling in for out of nothing yet.
Or could versus would encourage. Change the W to C. Did you get that, Brian? Thank
Yep,
you.
got it.
Okay, now where are we?
We need still need one more word on that sentence.
On which sentence?
The one word at the beginning of,
And the rural character of the community.
yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Sausage, which flavor? Sage, elk,
Maple.
turkey. People kill the turkeys and they eat them. They're no good for anything but sauce. All right, where are we? And nobody has a heartburn about the weeds, right?
Wait, hold on, did we?
1.4.3. I'm looking at 1.4.
Right, there was another one, wasn't there, Ty?
1.4.
Which one?
But it's also, I mean, where we can, I would require TDRs for ADUs,
Right.
hotels, whatever you can, you know.
And I have a question.
Okay, so hang on, let's stand the honorable mayor. Here's where we would right here, right? Consider requiring TDRs for lodges, hotels, ADUs, accessory apartments, lodge out rooms, etc.
I think the language legally is fine. I personally feel
What is a TDR market?
where people buy and sell and trade TDRs.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think this should say?
Well, it's all gonna depend on what the state down tells us we can and can't do, but I think that where we can, we should require TDRs, whether we might do a third of a TDR per hotel.
Does that show up in an ordinance versus planning document?
But I mean, it's explained in great detail in a zoning ordinance or an ordinance of TDRs if we have one, which we will create. But your general plan, I think that language is okay, it's just soft, that's all.
Is it adequate for the purposes?
I think so.
Pardon?
You were raising your hand.
Before I was, fire, do we want to say, the first sentence seems a little.
Which one? Which was
1.4.3 first sentence.
foster the ratio of recycling fire.
Exploring ways for developers to benefit from purchasing TDRs, and then it goes into how that would happen. For lodging, hotel, accessory dwelling units.
This-
Well, it's the thought, yeah,
I just don't like saying this immediately. Saying it's a thing for developers, this immediately tags TDRs with.
So take the color out of there and say.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Singles.
Ways
Deputy sheriffs.
Or how about delete the first line and keep consider requiring TDRs for lodging, hotels, and accessory dwellings.
that's something I don't like about that.
Let's get rid of it. Take the
Let's
first
take it
line out.
out, and they always talk about a TD market and.
Take our first sentence of 143 out, keep the second sentence. Better, Brian?
He's on it.
I'm trying. Format's a little wonky. Let's see.
You're all right.
Do you want to keep the creation of a TDR market?
Yes,
Okay.
Now, what we just
Oh,
said,
geez.
hang on.
Just take the first sentence out on 1.4.3.
there are two sentences.
Sentence number 1 of 143 goes away. Sentence number 1 of 143 goes away. There you go.
Ah,
Did it come down then? We talked about it, now we're trying to correct.
Okay.
I'll get it stricken. This is misbehaving. It's trying to
Thanks, man.
strike the whole paragraph, so.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't like the first sentence of 151 at all.
Wait, you're out of 1.4.4?
No, I'm sorry. Where are we?
We were in 1.4.
You're right. 1.1.4.
1.4.4.
That's it.
Some publicize the county's register of landowners willing to sell development units, consider the potential for the TDR rights to be considered as part of the process for acquisition. Yeah, let's just take that out.
Take it out.
But that's what's recommended here. No?
Well, why not have the potential to use for agricultural uses?
Enhance.
Sorry,
no, that's not what I read that as, okay.
Yeah. So
You consider it as
this is like keeping it's like
A record.
goes along with the database.
I like that.
Oh, no, I didn't read that correct. So that's for land use, conservation easements and protection of land, okay, I read it different.
Are we going to publicize the county or our register?
I think you got it.
We don't have one yet.
Just say the city's register.
Okay.
Okay.
The city.
Well, how about a register? How about a register, yeah?
Enhance and publicize.
Yeah, alright,
Yeah.
okay, and then, public report, when you do, this is business, yeah, perfect.
Okay. Principle number 1.5. Okay, no, go up, stop.
Yeah, this is what it's like,
I'm okay with encourage type language, but I don't like shall when it comes to cluster developments. Require all residential development projects of more than undefined be located. And then I would rather encourage something like that than make it mandatory.
right, so what you're saying, you're on 1.5, right?
1.5, yes.
1.5.1.
The sewer system, and you're saying just encourage people to
1.5 has the word select, so he was actually talking about 1.5.1.
I don't like 1.5.1.
point one.
He doesn't like that it starts with require.
Yeah.
So are you okay with the rest of the language if it says encourage?
Other than it's undefined what the number of units is, but it says by ordinance, which is fine, but encourage I can live with. But if you got, is anybody set on having this in there at all? But I'm okay if we.
Well, the idea is just, cluster development. Residential development projects.
Well, what I don't wanna do in an agriculture area, I don't wanna tell farmers who have 100 acres that thou shall do a cluster development if you sell your farm. Encourage, that's fine. So let's change require to encourage. Got that, Brian?
Got it.
Right there.
No.
Do we have to give, specify the number of units?
It says to be done in an ordinance.
Like, why? Are we really gonna say in an ordinance if you have, or do we need the language in here?
This is a vision statement.
Yeah,
I don't think you need to get into that specific.
of saying it has to be done by ordinance, are you suggesting taking the bracketed language out?
But establish the number of units by ordinance.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's something we do afterwards. So I just take the brackets out.
So you would take the more than out, or how would you read that sentence? Encourage all resident development projects that are located and just take everything out, is that what you're proposing?
Yeah.
that sounds good.
Yeah. What Tina said.
Did you get that, Brian?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
Ordinance,
Doesn't sound like you got it.
okay, the
Just-
first sentence, Brian, of 1.5.1.
Yep,
Encourage all residential development projects that are
So-
located, so take everything out of the
Okay.
projects and pick up at that.
You're deleting of more than bracket section.
Yeah.
Yeah,
got it.
and then you're saying by ordinance, they'll.
In the ordinances.
In the ordinance, the number.
We can figure that out later if we want to.
Cause I think maybe that would be a good thing to figure out.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Land use sculpture.
Yeah. Probably get easier.
So they've added one in here, I didn't see anything in here that I was supposed to.
We cleaned the room though.
They added, land use principle 2.3.1, encourage non-chemical weed management techniques such as grazing and vapor.
So that they're using encourage.
Yeah, that's fine.
Something.
Those are all my heartburns. The rest of it, let's clean it up. There are some other really important stuff, I guess, but. What I would love to see is a cleaned up copy tomorrow that has all those things that are X'd out,
Right.
no longer there.
So they've gone, we're in, I've moved on to rural residential,
Okay.
and I didn't see anything in here that I opposed. Of their rewrites. But I was updated.
Could we maybe flip through? Does everyone have a hard copy?
No, but I can do it on my laptop, but we can also have Brian page through.
So Brian, I'm confused. When I look at your online version, you have things in red and then you have things in red that are struck out. Is everything in red meant to be deleted or just the things struck out?
No, the way Word tracks changes is that insertions are also colored red.
Okay, so only the striking sentences are to be deleted.
Correct, the strike throughs are the deleted
What I
portions.
don't understand is I have continued to say, let's go to what is required by the state and not do more right now. And these demographics and everything that are old. What, I don't know what the point is of keeping that.
Yeah.
They're updated.
Last time when we talked, they were not.
Well, they're 2024, they say.
Are they required by code?
Mm.
I find them interesting. Are they the best or the latest?
That's fine, it's your vote.
Early on comment to Brian was that it's not from the Gardner Institute, it's from American Community Survey, and we've been using the Gardner Institute for all of our population data.
I've spoken with Mallory Bateman at the Gardner Policy Institute, and they have an estimate for population for 2024, but they don't have any other statistical markers at the moment that have been created for the city, simply because it's so new. Anything that we want to do to track households or number of dwelling units, anything like that is going to have to come from the American Community Survey for at least another 6 to 8 months.
But Brian found that useful in giving context to the discussion. describing the community.
But I'm looking at it saying that in 2024, the valley population being reported is 8,086 people, when it's 2026 and we have 7,000. And
207 or.
No, it's like
Seven-
7,042 or something like
It
that.
says 7,693. Ogden Valley.
So I just don't know why we're saying. If it's,
You're
mean,
suggesting it may be an unreliable period.
yes.
If it was projections. How about this, Ryan? A section that says because of the recency or recent certification of the city, comprehensive data is not available and will be added at such time as it becomes available. Something like that.
Yeah, because I think we need the demographics in there.
Right, but I think we have to get study done in order to have them.
If there isn't this alternative, is it just the population that's wrong?
Well, I haven't gone further on his online version yet, but there was a whole breakdown section in the general plan of how many homes were this or that and all this other stuff, and it's all updated information.
Kathy,
Well,
Corbin needs re-admitted.
I don't see him.
It's all
Added.
Okay, that's up to Corbin, he's asked, he's saying okay, what are we gonna do about this issue?
I would, okay, if nice contextually to read, we could include what he has in, but saying these are the latest available, but are subject, but will be replaced when more current data is available. And then we go back and substitute.
How does this affect all the following charts underneath it? There's.
Brian, there's a bunch of charts underneath it,
Yep.
go down to them, please. Do those stay or do those go?
We can take them out.
Or is the data good?
Based on the numbers that you have in the updated, do you know what I'm saying? In all those paragraphs, the 2024 American Community Survey, are these charts based on the numbers that you put up there?
Yes. Well, so the table 3 is based on information from the American Community Survey. The table below it, the population projections, which was a picture in the original, that's why it's labeled figure 3, but my graphics team hasn't made a picture for it yet. So
Yeah.
that second table of population projections is information collected from it's from the it's from the State Department of Transportation. It's what they use in their modeling to predict transportation demand for the future, and their baseline is based on the Kempsey Gardner Institute, because the Census Bureau does not generate projections.
A recommendation is to keep it really simple right now. Tomorrow afternoon, Janet and I are meeting with the dude from WFRC about the 175,000, how we're gonna use it. And we can certainly try to carve out some of the money to update certain sections of the general plan to include this type of stuff.
Would be more reason.
When you
That's not
say,
what you're saying.
when you say keep it simple, are you saying take all of the demographics out or leave what Brian's?
If the demographics are questionable, I wouldn't keep them. If they're good, let's keep them. Are they questionable?
What about if you put like cases subject to
I can live
based
with,
on our
I can
best
live with that.
guess now?
I can live with that.
Do you know what?
I don't know why you would do that, just cut it out,
I would
you
cut-
have good data, you put good data in,
Let's do that.
why carry over questionable stuff?
Let's do that.
All right, so be prescriptive to Brian what he's gonna do.
In the areas where there are detailed demographics analysis that are not required. Just remove them, and I would just put in there, to the extent any demographic data could be helpful in future consideration of development in the valley. it may be added when reliable information becomes available.
You got that, Brian?
Why me?
So I don't
Got
want
that. So I will simplify the data sets and drop anything that is not absolutely necessary and insert a statement that due to recency of or lack of recent data availability, the plan will be updated when we have
More
reliable numbers.
All right,
that's it, you got it, something like that, I think you know all of that.
So, yeah. I have more than once I've brought up the fact that there are very specific items that the state statute says needs to be included specifically for a class 5 city versus something else. And in that whole mindset we've had from back in January, of getting this adopted quickly, the advice, at least for me, was do what is minimally necessary from the state. We can add to it later down the road, but to get it adopted, let's do, and I mean, there's a lot in here that's not required by the state.
So since they added all the demographics in, we just take them out.
That's my, yeah, and then there's more like that, yes.
let's go, page down through. We've made a decision on the demographic stuff.
There's a bunch of stuff they crossed out themselves.
So all that you just went through, does it stay or does it go, Brian?
This will all go.
Okay,
Make it simple, that's better.
housing, any issues on what's there under housing?
Moderating housing.
I don't even know what page he's on.
I'm not sure. Housing.
Things like scratched out tables have got to go away, which you show us tomorrow, obviously.
Yeah, they'll go away. They're difficult to remove in Word.
I understand.
Are all the words, you scratched out tables, but there's words in there, like, are they going away too?
Yeah.
Ogden Valley has been developing as a lifestyle community with an aging population, but more young families. All of that, is that scratched out, or are you proposing it should stay there?
No,
'Cause
that'll all go as well.
all of it.
Yeah.
Understand you're not losing any of this information. We have copies of every general plan going back into the 90s. And so all of that was written prior, we can, if we like
Yeah,
it, we can
because
add it later. But to
it
get
was-
something adopted, my suggestion is go with what is
What
required.
I'm reading was in the original, or
Yeah,
in.
right, and you'll still have it even if you
We're saying take that out.
Yeah.
What was in the 2016, we wanna take it, remove it out.
It's old, it's outdated, not required.
Well, it's historical information. She's talking about stuff that says, it has been this way, and that's great. It doesn't go away. It's in archive. We can add it later if we want to keep it in later, but let's just get this adopted.
So yes, we are saying take it out and what we vote to adopt tomorrow.
And we can add it in later.
We can change this every freaking city council we meet at.
We don't have to do a mailing in a public.
Well,
No,
but we could do a mailing and a public hearing every freaking time if we wanted.
Every
I'm
time.
being tongue in cheek, people, but
I think,
we can have as a planning document something called demographics. Relevant demographics and have adopt that as a consideration of any planning changes that are done. Versus if you freeze it in here, it becomes out of date.
yeah, what did you say?
well, I'm just wondering why we have to remove some of that, like Ogden Valley remains an attractive bedroom community for many working families. What, it was there, why are we taking it out? I don't know, recreational properties affect the valley during different, and we're taking all of that out, as I understand.
Well, so for me, it's not because I disagree with the language, but for simplicity's sake. So otherwise, then we need to take the time to reorganize the subheading, the heading, and all of that. Since it's not necessary, you could delete it. Get something you can approve, and then when you figure out, all that language is saved in an archived PDF documents, and we can pull the sentences we like. Put new data in with those beautiful, descriptive sentences, and then later insert.
We can amend it. We can amend.
So it's not because, I'm not saying that because I disagree with it, I just think it causes more time,
Inefficiency.
to get this thing to a fun, exactly.
How about this, we can't amend it, because this plan was amended twice. I think it was twice, maybe it was once by the county, and I doubt they went through notifying everyone.
It's in the state statute, every time you amend. They get to notify, but we're gonna be amending it with the
New data.
TPA grant,
Well,
Oh, that's right, there you go.
so it's coming up.
T, are you okay with that answer?
You can say no.
Just let me look. And so basically, it will still be there and we'll be putting it back
The
in.
information doesn't go away, but it's not in what we vote on. tonight.
And you can ask, Don and Janet when they're working with that grant to try to get that kind of information back there, because we like it, it's helpful.
What Janet is suggesting is let's go bare bones, legally required, so we have a general plan, which we have to have.
Keep it simple.
None of the data goes away, it's archived. But what we vote to approve tomorrow is not gonna have all this.
And we will have another way to adopt the descriptive data.
Okay,
Are you in
well,
principle?
because, yeah. Descriptive data should be.
That's what.
Ryan, go, page, we're at 426. And if we hold true to give Ty some time on the two land use ordinances, I will appreciate that.
I also have some upfront stuff, just to say.
Wait, but we're.
Slow down there, Brian, slow down there. Are you gonna take all that out? Brian,
I will take out the first section on housing, but the moderate income housing element
That's,
is a required element.
yeah,
right?
I've updated the statistics as much as
As you
feasible and
can.
tried to remove a lot of the fluff that Weber County had in there, including, you know, some of these graphics. They're nice, they're informative, but they're not necessary information. So
Okay.
we'll remove those and have that ready.
you have footnotes for where you're pulling this data and all that stuff? Like you updated, you're saying the median income and are you referencing where you're getting that data from?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's get through this section, then we can go back up front.
And we'll do a quick flip through.
So again, under housing, there's a lot of descriptive stuff. That,
So there were housing goals, also important to the moderate income housing plan element. Commercial development is not required.
Stop. Go back. Tia had a comment about housing.
Okay.
well, just, are we taking that whole under housing, all of that out?
Brian, what are you gonna take out in housing? Okay, but what is she showing you?
I am.
She's on page.
Under that,
Are you taking all that out as you're going through?
It's not,
Discuss
hold on,
that.
yeah, keep going, and stop, that's where she is.
are you taking all that out?
Everything in black.
Yes, it's not necessary. It's just a kind of a current conditions statement.
Descriptive again,
Yeah,
so it can go back in later.
sure. I mean, in my opinion, it doesn't hurt anything to leave it in. It's less than one page, and it kind of sets the context for what the housing market looks like, but it's the moderate income housing analysis of demand for, you know, housing units affordable to households that earn 80% of the county median income. So it's that, you know, particular bracket that the state is interested in.
It's important data, it's not required, but it's nice to set the table. Tia, what do you think?
Well, I would like to stay in there.
So then we need to clean some of it up, because there's like, so the paragraph, most of the housing units in Ogden Valley are single family detached homes rather than multifamily condominiums or apartments, and then it goes into nearly all multifamily housing units are located in the resort areas, blah, blah, blah. Talks about DRR one in the valley, which we are not adopting, and so you gotta delete all that out, like you could go through and that's fine, but we need to go through and clean it up and delete stuff. Talks about Powder Mountain in there, it talks about,
So if our objective is to have something that we can review and vote on tomorrow, we need to make it doable for Brian, because while he can farm out some to his team, he's a one-man band.
Where's already
so actually, sorry, my computer's not letting pages well, but it's, so where's that page?
Is it headed rural residential development in the middle and
I can't get to up or down. I'm trying. Oh, wait, hold on, it's not moving.
What page are you on of the document approximately, Brian?
I'm on 18,
Okay.
19.
I'm on page 44 of the Word document. The page number at the bottom of the page is not
I'm in there.
what I meant.
Where-
It says page 19 at the bottom of the page, but it's actually page 44.
Yeah, I was in the third paragraph of that housing thing.
So let's get through housing and then let's talk through what we can get done in the 28 minutes we have this room. What do you guys want to do on housing?
Oh. Yeah, but that's crossed out.
No, that was my version, so I don't know.
It's crossed out in this one. He's crossed out resort projects and on Valley's destination and resort.
I just struck that out as you were speaking.
Okay, I was gonna say, I've got his latest one from before now, so, okay. Alright.
Any other comments on housing?
No, I mean, he's got some data in there that you guys are questioning, right? Like,
You said that you said you updated the median value of housing and all that stuff,
Correct.
and he says he's got the notations on where he's getting the data.
I'm comfortable leaving it in.
yeah,
Let's leave, you got 3 voting members who just said we're comfortable.
You bet.
yeah,
Go to the end of
All
housing.
right.
Talking about housing, planning document.
Dee, are you okay?
yep.
Okay, go to the top, okay, we've got 27 minutes left, are we still okay giving Ty 10 of those?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got 15 minutes left on the general plan. Is it our desire that Brian leaves here with a homework assignment to provide us a document that we can vote on tomorrow night?
Yes.
Okay, what do you must have him look at, Tia? What must you have him look at?
You go first, Tia, or if you want.
I've already put notes in, he's looked at them, so there's.
Are there any things you want us to decide right now to vote on tomorrow from your notes?
No, if he's already done them.
Well,
I mean, there was.
are they comments or they changes?
There. Well,
If
there were
they're-
comments, there was one change, but
Okay.
it's just completing a sentence, just like.
Okay,
Yep. Tia had some questions about public utilities, particularly septics versus sewers.
okay, let's address them real quick. Go to that.
One of the goals here, I've got it up on the screen. One of the goals is to explore. Oh, sorry, I can't make that go away. Look at encouraging alternatives to septic drain field systems. And I believe, Don, you also had some concerns about how that could lead to increased density, increased development, because infrastructure attracts development.
Sewer.
If you are building a sewer, it makes it a lot easier to build more houses than if they're relying on septics.
Which one are we reading?
Utilities and public services goal number 2.
Yep.
Tia's comment was, can we define what expanding wastewater disposal capacity would look like?
And my comment was about 2.2, right? And 2.3.
Yes.
Who put those? The planning commission put those in there?
The planning commission put them in at the request of Les Vera and the water quality team that he has. A couple of them are, in my opinion, they're redundant because they're already addressed by current subdivision standard. For example, 2.4 were consider approvals beyond existing services. They have to be approved by the health department and or DWQ. Those are already required. We require
I would take them out.
any subdivision requires to either have a will serve letter from a sewer company or verification from the health department that a septic system is feasible,
I agree, that,
or they're not allowed to build.
Hang on, Brian, what do you want to do, Tia?
take it out.
Take it out. This is how the sausage is made. Okay, Tia, you got any others?
What was my other one, Brian? Something about, oh, it was the sewer though. My mind was kind of along the lines of Dawn's, sewer.
I think we took it out. Go down to what you just took out. Go down to where you were, which is,
Well,
Just like-
it was right here. It crosses the page. So this is the stuff. So this is 2.1 and then 2.2 and 2.3 that were added.
did you take them out, yes or no?
Yes, I did.
They're gone.
Okay. So 2.3 is done.
2.3 is gone, or 2.2 is gone?
Well, I took out 2.4. 2.3 is to consult with DWQ regarding options and standards for expanding wastewater disposal capacity. Les's team's concern was that increasing the number of septic tanks increases the discharge of nitrates and other pollutants into the groundwater. And, their opinion is getting people off of septics and onto sewers is better for water quality.
That's also 2.2, so why would we delete that one? Wouldn't we keep 2.2 and 2.3?
Undelete, let's see what we have, and then we're running out of time.
Well, what you see on the screen is what they recommended. If I delete it, I have to delete all three, but I can.
Or are you saying that it's redundant because it's elsewhere?
Well, I think 2.4 is redundant because it's already required by the ordinances that we're considering adopting. 2.2 and 2.3 are to encourage the city to look at alternatives to septic tanks to prevent groundwater infiltration by wastewater.
But that wasn't my question. It doesn't. It just encourages them to look at septic tanks.
Well, it encourages them to explore sewer or other. I think phrasing it, saying perhaps looking at sewer or other on-site wastewater disposal technology. There are other ways of dealing with wastewater on site beyond hooking up to a sewer or beyond using a septic tank. They're more expensive, so they're going to impact housing affordability for sure. But
Use your general language perhaps, Brian, does that do it? That he just suggested?
This is general language. It doesn't specifically mention sewers at all. It just
Yeah, it
says
doesn't mention sewers,
I'm personally okay with the language.
wastewater.
It's a aspirational plan. I'm okay with it.
I agree.
All right. Okay, you've got,
I've got really
You got
easy ones.
So wait, Brian, you understood 2.2 and 2.3 stay, but 2.4 goes?
I got it.
Got it.
okay,
Okay. The other questions were about 3.2 with stormwater management. And there was the unfinished sentence here on 3.2.5, which should read on-site management for stormwater runoff.
Yeah, these are all redundant because we're gonna have to do them in our stormwater management plan, which was my point, but I don't care if we leave them in.
Does that include 3.2.4, limiting impervious surfaces to 60%?
No, not, it is if we adopted the plan. But I don't know, do we want to limit it to 60%?
Brian, that's a new thing you guys added in?
Yeah,
That's okay.
Well, what's it based on?
it beats me. Rice just told me to put it in.
It was somebody's
You're the
opinion.
expert.
No, it was almost certainly Brian or Lesky or.
Yeah, this was all less as well. I'm certain there is a reasonable standard out there and a justification for it, but it was not given to me.
Consider minimizing, or use some generic language.
Well, it's a new line, I mean, you said we're gonna be, well, alright.
I don't know what's gonna be in the stormwater plan there.
And sorry.
I think if you're okay to leave it in there.
Or you could say encourage.
Encourage,
limiting impervious
There we go.
surfaces in residential.
put encourage in front of limit and then ing at the end, and
And take out the 60%.
Okay, you're down to 8 minutes now.
Oh, I don't need any more than 5.
But take out that specific 60% to they don't
Yeah,
have.
he did.
Kathy, when we're done with the general plan, please pull up maybe 3 that I sent you on an email. Thank you, ma'am. I know I am.
Okay,
I'm trying to orchestrate a bunch of cats.
front page,
Front page.
Front page.
someone took out the legend of the history adopted August, blah, 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 amended, keep all of that in. And then just add below that updated. It's in a text box that I added,
It's interesting.
yeah. Well, I want the history of the document to be left intact, otherwise it was like we wrote all this stuff, and we didn't. So the front page, go to the very, it's the
What do you think?
one with the picture, still not a copy. Go again.
No, I said I'm not gonna argue.
Okay.
So just tell them what to do. Go
The
ahead.
front page, the title page,
Yes.
very,
Maybe on this title page.
the one with the picture on it.
She, literally the cover page, she wants the 2 lines that were struck out to be put back in, and just to add Ogden Valley City. And the new date adoption.
Oh, gotcha.
Should probably change that 2016 out of that picture too.
Probably.
As long as you get the history at the bottom, I think you say what it is, it's
I
there.
gotcha. Okay.
Leave it for where it is. Yeah,
And next,
leave all the names in, I think they leave them.
Yes,
It looked like there were last names on it for some people. Well, yeah, I think that was the document. Okay. Yeah, leave that in, that's good, were produced by blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then keep the names there. And there were some,
like Stephen and Walbert, is that?
there are some names that were messed up, like Dylan Curl is one, Jan Fuller. There was some spacing, like, yeah.
let Brian fix all those. Go to your next comment, because you're running out of time.
I've only taken 2 minutes.
I know, I know you can talk more than 2 minutes.
What?
I would think you take those out, but that's alright.
Take what out?
All those names, we've changed their document. So to attribute it to them when we've changed their data and everything, I think was,
No.
It's nothing, yeah, I don't wanna say we wrote this,
it's,
Yeah.
What else is there, okay?
that's all.
Okay, let's quickly go down to the page through real quick, Brian. Were there any others big comments given Dave on any of the other sections?
No, not really, but I would make one recommendation. First of all, the Parks and Rec stuff, that's not required.
Right,
Take it out.
Could be kept, could be taken
Well,
out.
keep it,
This
just
whole
keep it.
chapter-
Just keep it.
This whole chapter 9, resource management, again, this is all written specifically for Weber County. The
Yeah, it's
planning
all-
commission thought it had some nifty stuff in it, but it can go.
Okay, hold that thought, make it go. Or keep it?
It's not a requirement.
I know. What do you guys want to do?
Take it up.
Take it out.
Take it out, since we're voting tomorrow. we say-
Unless we read in the morning, when Brian finishes at 4 AM.
You don't need to take it out now, just take it out later. What else you got?
Yep. That's all I've got.
Okay, tell us what your homework assignment is.
What I will do this afternoon is I will complete removing any unnecessary content that is not required by the state of Utah and simplify and remove inconsistencies in the demographic information that is in there to clarify sources. I'll insert a statement on data recency and that it will be updated when we have more reliable information available. Is there anything else?
Okay, so there's all kinds of comments and other strikeouts. What are you doing with all of those?
Oh yeah, all the red lines or all of the changes will be finalized. All the red lines will be removed. The comments will be cleaned up and removed and presented to you ready for tomorrow morning.
Great.
Great.
Did everybody understand the homework assignment?
Yes.
He's
Okay.
accepting all changes and
Okay, thank you for taking on that homework assignment.
Yes, thank you, Brian.
awesome.
Okay,
No problem.
all right, stop sharing your screen. Kathy, can you bring up AB3 draft, please? Okay, so we were presented with 4 ordinances by the planning commission on the 31st of March. 83, FB3, RE 1520. And definitions, am I missing one?
That's
Okay.
it.
So, Ty Lopshire to my left is the chair of the subcommittee on agricultural land use codes. He and I went through 83 and we've got some recommended changes from the agricultural community for AB3 and FB3. Have either of you read what we received from the planning commission, 83 and FB3, the zoning ordinances? Okay, Tia has, okay.
83 and FB3, not just on the 83, right?
We're talking about a bulk that we've got this confusing mess of agriculture showing up multiple times. Okay, please page down, guys.
So is Ty gonna talk? Or
They will title it a second. I'm just setting up the, can you show the comments too? Thank you, you're awesome. Page down, page down. Right. At our agriculture committee, we're professional slaughterhouse people who have their thing that they bring out of your kill cow slaughter. Said, if you don't put that in there, we're gonna get called at some point.
Yep.
So put it in there, so.
Don, do we have this or are you going to send it to us?
I have not sent you this.
The comment.
I sent this to Brian because I wasn't allowed to send it to all files. So Brian has this document. Brian could put it in the SharePoint.
You can actually send it directly.
Or Brian can send it to her. You have the unedited, the
Yeah.
addition edited version.
Yes.
Okay. So we recommend this. Next, keep going with things. Go, 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 go. Try to stop me if I'm missing something. Now we're gonna go down to the setbacks where you guys are really issues. Right, here. And can you scroll over some, yeah, there we go. Alright, so. Alright, go ahead and introduce yourself officially for the record.
I'm Ty Longshire.
Come on,
Come up, thanks, you're gonna let you talk through these.
just to make sure we can hear you and you're
Yep.
recording.
Ty Longshire. I am the chair of the subcommittee for zoning and land use for the agriculture committee. So this is one of our major changes. We got rid of, well, we suggested getting rid of the 10-foot side setbacks for agricultural barns and how do they specify it?
Go over to the left.
Farms where you keep animals.
Yeah, good.
So the planning commission recommended a 10-foot side setback. We thought that it would be easier for land use to not differentiate the setbacks and for it to just be an accessory building is an accessory building, no matter the use.
Brian,
What?
where did the 10-foot thing come from?
The 10-foot was a conversation from the planning commission. They felt like, so the 25 feet is what Weber County originally had. And the planning commission, particularly Tyson Lloyd, felt like that was too much and offered to reduce it to 10. I believe there was some concern about having no setback at all if, for example, a roof overhang crossed property lines or was near the property line on a barn or similar structure, and snow was sliding off of the structure onto neighboring property.
Yeah, but so just so I'm clear, what exists, what has existed, and what everybody's been living under was 25 feet. And then the planning commission recommended lowering that to 10 feet. And in fact, the feedback was that was too much.
So in time we'll let you explain it. But the agriculture committee is saying just have it as the same standard as any accessory.
And what is that?
Correct.
And
In AV3, I believe it is,
we can go down to the bottom because it's in the bottom.
yeah, it's in the chart.
For an accessory dwelling unit.
It'd be an accessory building.
An accessory building.
Yeah, sorry, for an accessory building, the side setback is 10 feet.
So,
Cool, how's that different?
well,
Oh, I'm sorry, no,
the
side,
standard is cleaning up, instead of creating one that's specific to barns and stables, just use the standard accessory
Okay.
building setback.
But it's still 10 feet.
It would be 10 feet.
But the farmers were upset about the 10 feet.
No, they're just suggesting to clean this up. Am I right,
The
Tony?
original controversy was due to the corral language.
Okay,
Yes.
that's what, okay, I'm getting that.
And now we're just cleaning it up to make it easier.
Just.
Okay.
Take-
And in
down
the,
corral.
in the future, if setbacks get changed, this will make it easier
Got
to make the modification.
Okay,
And corral is not a building. Corral is a fence.
So the barn, stable, building, that's all good, but over here you just say buildings.
Put in barn, take out corral and change as the right side of the table says.
Right.
Can you page down to the next one, Kathy?
Stable for horses.
Stands for nuisance.
Is this us or was?
This was us.
Yeah.
Partially.
Good.
So we recommended reducing the offset from a existing dwelling to 30 feet. Given that due to the 150-foot lot minimum width, that would pretty well make it unavailable. We couldn't do that use. So we recommend going to 30 feet, given that a primary dwelling has to be 10 to 14 feet off the property line anyway.
so this is off of the dwelling unit, and the dwelling unit has to be off of so it's in addition to what okay.
Exactly.
So it'd be 30 plus 10 to 14 feet, so.
The way it reads, is my stable has to be 30 feet from the existing
Something
house.
else.
Right, so if the house is 10 feet, I have to be 20 feet from my fence line. If the house is 20 feet off of their fence line, I can be 10 feet. It has to.
And this is only applicable to feeding areas and
Right.
regular storage, not to the barn itself.
Right,
Just confinement.
what's that?
There was a lot of discussion about confinement.
Right.
Because they said we'll have to have little fencing and a whole lot of that. So they took that right out.
Any other questions on that one?
I'm just wondering why, like, what was the reasoning?
For red or for purple?
No, the original language, if there was like health code, like why was it what it was?
So is the original from what?
Seventy
Weaver
five,
We did.
Weaver County
Yeah.
encouraged everything with.
75, I think.
And so was it never noticed in all these years that it was 75 feet or just nobody?
Well, we lived in rural Weaver County. Where things for generations, including where you live, were done the way they were done,
regardless of.
regardless of what the code is.
And no enforcement.
Right,
No
and there's
enforcement.
Yeah. No.
Page down to the next one, please, Kathy.
Part-time.
Short-term rentals are in. I don't know what they, I don't think they existed in Weaver County, maybe three. But that's not what we're talking, well, we can talk
Well,
about
but
that.
with this Trump, like ag tourism. So,
What depends on the definition of short-term rental, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Ag
They're not
tourism
allowed.
is a permitted use.
Yeah, there's a formal definition of it.
Rental of less than 30 days.
So if it's an N AB three and ag tourism is allowed in AB three, does it automatically make it not allowed in ag tourism?
Yes.
Know the answer
I
to the
would think
question.
that, I would think.
Short-term rentals as allowed. I add.
That's a conditional use.
What was it in Weaver County Code? Brian, do you
In
remember?
Weaver County Code, short-term rentals are not allowed in the AV3.
It wasn't a C.
I'm pretty sure it was me.
I'm pretty sure it was in
I'll go with the N, but then the ag tourism is traditional use that then allows you to have short-term rentals.
It is ag tourism specifies short-term rentals,
In parts of it.
right? And so this is a problem.
But I guess we'll deal with it when we get to ag tourism.
But ag tourism, but from this is general, ag tourism is a specific approval over this. But now.
I would add, subject to ag tourism, which is 10821.
Why wouldn't that be a C then?
Well, if you do make it a C, then it turns out whether you do ag tourism or not, you
That's right.
could conditionally ask for short-term rental in like just your home. Because you don't need to go through ag tourism to get it.
Okay, and so just going on that, so if you wanted to do a short-term rental in AB3, could you apply for a rezone then?
Yes.
For a rezone to not be AB3 anymore?
To be able to do short-term rental?
Are you talking about in Weaver County?
I'm talking about,
Here, this.
Like under this language, you mean?
yeah,
I don't know what the short-term rental ordinance is gonna look like.
Well, to answer your question, yes, you can always apply to rezone, whether or not it should be approved is the planning commission and us.
I think short-term rental ordinance or. Code whatever.
Which section are we on? Is it accessory uses? Kathy,
It had.
which section are we on? Are we on accessory uses?
That they weren't going to make any new area.
Commercial uses.
Commercial, thank you.
So that's why I said I don't know what the short-term rental ordinance says, because it's.
Okay, Weaver County is silent, says nothing about short-term rentals in AB3. Zero, nothing, it's blank. Doesn't exist.
So in Weaver
So-
County, there are certain areas that are approved short-term
Right.
rental, and we have a short-term rental ordinance that talks about not allowing any additional
Right,
areas.
so they added this for some reason. The planning commission added this, why, Brian?
They added, that's. planning.
It does not exist in Weaver County, I'm looking at it right now.
Short-term rentals, and they're eliminating whatever they can.
Right,
That's.
Brian, why did they add short-term rentals? No, do you
They
remember?
added, primarily they're looking at a temporary restriction on short-term rentals to allow the city time to learn the
So,
extent of.
I vote take out that line.
Well, and it's silly because it says no anyway.
Right,
So-
it's a self-licking ice cream. Okay,
It's like,
now let's go back to white ties here. The question, breeding that wasn't tie, you may breed, that's a whole other conversation time. Okay, skeet range, no big deal there, no, that's commercial use. Hospital, commercial use, go. The other ones are what? The animal, family food production and what?
Let's look at food.
Well, hang on.
We'd have feeding areas.
Feeding areas, we got it. Feeding areas is huge. Go to that. This is a big issue. Feeding areas is a big issue.
Right up there.
Right there. That one's a big issue for the ag. Go up, go up, go up. There, stop.
Okay.
Go up just a little bit.
Fish one.
There you go,
There we go.
right there. So we defined feeding areas so that it wasn't misconstrued as the actual fence line, but rather the actual mangers where they feed.
And if their name, if their, I call them mangers, are, like what if they put them on the fence?
That is allowable as long as they're not within 30 feet of an existing dwelling.
That section right at the bottom of what we're looking at. We've also proposed adding that definition of feeding area to the definition ordinance. Brian was sent that to add to the definition. Any questions on this? Let's go to family food production, which is down here in a little bit. Here we go. Okay, so what we have here is not what the planning commission did the last time under FR3, which is now HR3.
I understand.
Well,
Okay, we're still in 83.
We are,
Okay.
but I'm telling, the planning commission has two different definitions of family food production to us.
Okay,
What they agreed for HR3 was to make 2 AUs per acre.
okay.
What the ag committee, in a really good conversation, was talking about is instead of a prescriptive thou shall, was come up with a way to manage your animals humanely, don't be a dork and all that. Ty, I took that out in what I sent out, just because I think it begs a conversation amongst the agricultural community on what that means. We need to come up with a definition of humane management before we go.
Correct.
And the planning commission did agree to double the quantity from 1 to 2. I think most people will say fine. And go to my comment.
And this is just family home.
This is family food. This is family food. And I made the comment that it needs to be consistent with what is in FE3 and HR3 specifically, where it's 2 AUs. And I suggested adding that language at the very bottom to speak to Abe Wainscard's concern about 4-H in Future Farmers of America. Let's allow the kids to have an animal. Because those aren't necessarily for family food production. They can be sold. So I recommend that quote unquote be added into whatever we approve for AB3, FE3, HR3.
2 AUs.
2 AUs.
Yeah.
So go back to the,
I thought it was on.
Go back to the market,
this is what they pushed to us on the 31st of March.
where they had the debate about animals. The other thing, this bothers me a little bit. Are people raising horses so they can eat them
Some do.
here?
I made that comment.
Did you? Thank you.
I did.
Spoken like a
So from my understanding, horses shouldn't be in that.
They
Are due to them, they will be regulated differently.
right,
They're gonna be regulated by the stables.
right.
So do you want to strike out horse?
Yeah,
I would recommend we strike out horse.
What about donkey?
I would recommend
donkey is tough, I've had it.
I recommend we take out horse and donkey from every place the family food production shows up.
Seems like pack animal.
Well,
Llamas are for me.
They're.
some eat them.
Do they? I don't know. I thought they were just for their wool.
Are they for their wool?
Yes. Well, it's called fiber, not wool.
But still.
Some people do eat llamas and alpacas.
Yeah, those people would be in the
Well,
Okay.
some people might.
Well, let's not tell people what they can't do. Let's leave it
If you're
in.
taking out horse and donkey, I'm just saying, I feel like llamas with that. That's all.
I'd leave them all in because nobody's eating the damn horses here.
I realize that.
If I might add, this
Right.
chart was not intended as a animal food production list of
Right.
And it was simply a chart to illustrate the
How many-
values that an animal unit holds
Yeah,
when
This
considering
comes
how
from
many
where?
animals to put on a lot.
Okay, but you put it under the family food protection section.
Well, we did because we adopted Weber County's. This is Weber County's code.
No, this is additional language that Tyson Lloyd included.
Tyson did.
Yep.
Whoa.
All right, what do we want to do? And let's make it consistent across all of them. Take out horses, donkeys, and llamas.
If it's new stuff, take it out.
But in here, yeah, let's take out horses, donkeys, and llamas off of this thing.
So their point was anything that's fully new.
Yeah, why not eliminate the whole thing?
Was there, well, what did Weber County say about animal food production? What did Weber County say about animal food production?
They didn't.
They didn't, and they didn't include any
Family
definition
food
of what
production, I'm reading it right now. As used in this subsection, a group A animal is a pig, a sheep, a cow, 111, group B animals, a fowl, 10 rabbits, 10 chickens, 10 pheasants, 5 turkeys, blah, 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 blah. No more than 4 sets of group B, so Tyler came up with the table versus the verbiage that Weber County had.
but they have listed.
But this chart is misconstrued. It's not meant for nuisance impact, it's meant for forage density.
It's 5:06 and there's a 5:30 meeting here, I believe.
And we need to be out by 5:30.
So I think we got it. Okay.
Well, we have been here at 5:30 before,
Okay.
and the other people have not shown up yet. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're okay. So we should be okay, but we really need to be out the door by 5:30.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so Weber County's is prescriptive, family food production. As used in this subsection, a group A animal is either 1 pig, 1 sheep, 1 cow, or 1 goat, and group B animals or fowls are either a set of 10 rabbits, 10 chickens, 10 pheasants, 5 turkeys, 5 ducks, 5 geese, or 5 pigeons. No more than 4 sets of group B animals or fowl may be kept on a lot or parcel that is less than 40,000 square feet, about an acre. No more than 6 combined sets of group A animals and sets of group B animals or fowl may be kept on a lot or parcel that is less than 2 acres. The same applies to a lot or parcel greater than 2 acres, except that an additional 6 combined sets of group A and sets of group B can be set. So Tyler was trying to simplify it.
By putting it in a chart.
Well, there's no group A and B, an animal has a number associated with
Right.
it. And they decided for each R3 to make it 2 AUs instead of 1. When they passed this up to us, they didn't even, it doesn't even say per acre on what they passed up to us.
So what do you think it should be?
Our general consensus was that it doesn't accurately represent an impact, it represents forage. Which misconstrues things. So for example, say you have a 1 acre parcel. You can have 100 chickens.
Mm-hmm.
And that's gonna cause far more of an impact than 1 cow.
Hell yes.
Yeah,
It's not accurate, is what it boils down to.
well, we didn't want it, non-accurate density data, let's not do non-accurate,
And it's new data, it's not,
is it solving a problem?
you know,
Let's take it.
Well, if we don't have it in there, can people do family food production?
yes,
Yeah.
the state requires the city to allow it,
Allow how much?
doesn't specify.
So
Do we say income, family food production in compliance with state statute?
Farm Act.
Department, all kinds of people get involved.
With state health and, yeah,
If you're slaughtering, yes, but state health has nothing to do with allied dried chickens.
no, I mean, health department, no?
Not unless,
Well,
not unless it's a known problem,
I was gonna say, I mean, if you stick a ton of pigs on a tiny patch of ground,
then you have,
people are gonna call,
Then you
the
have-
department's gonna come out.
right,
Isn't it, are you sure there's a state statute?
it's yes against the nuisance, which is the only thing we can protect against is nuisance. And runoff, SWIP will get runoff.
If you two can come to an agreement on what makes sense and present it tomorrow.
We need to make sure people can do family food production and it doesn't become an issue.
Did you compare this to the AB3 that as a city council, everybody kind of agreed to back in December?
It's going way back.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I don't even know.
That was your little work group.
Well, what should have been in there was Weaver County's good, but that's not struck out here. Okay, Tyler and I will come up with something. Is that the end of it? Let's go to the bottom. Hey, go back up to that last purple. What was that?
All that was
Hey, there you
our
go.
recommended language.
So. This is what the Ag Committee suggested is just be good stewards of your animals.
Isn't that basically sums up what we're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
That does, that's true.
So how about you take out the stuff up above? and
Well,
keep it?
that was Tyler's recommendation.
Well, do it.
Yeah, 3 voting members just said.
All right, so if we do this, it needs to be the same in FD3, in HR3, where we talk about
But,
family food.
so Brian, this will be the Trump language that carries over.
This would be the controlling.
Okay.
And do we need to add in the 4-H in the future farmer language?
Yes.
That's important to a lot of people.
I believe we do, so Brian, you and Ty and I will make sure that another sentence is added here that says kids under 18 living at home can have an animal for FFA. Okay, let's go down to the bottom. Thank you, Kathy, you're awesome. That was not ours, that was oh yeah, let's go up there, that's important, that's important. Right, we have nuisance ordinance, we have nuisance defined in the municipal code, we don't need to define it here too. And so that needs to be struck. And I think that was, what do we got down here?
Same verbiage.
Oh, the other setbacks, here we go. Speak to that.
This is the same verbiage we talked about, we just carried it over. The buildings have to be within other accessible building setbacks and the 30-foot setback from feeding areas and manure storage areas.
And this is where you struck out courthouse.
Correct. We did not strike it, the
Oh, you
planning
did?
commission did.
Oh,
Yes.
We are purple, planning commission is red.
okay.
So what's with the C there?
Uh-huh.
Manure and waste.
Manure and waste, what's going on with nuisance conditions? Are you striking that? What is that?
That was a comment saying that we have to be careful about nuisance language due to the Utah Right to Farm Act.
So would it, or is that being added in?
No, that
It's
is
just a
that
comment.
was an internal comment
Okay.
between us.
But it's.
So the brackets go away, but the nuisance language stays.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm okay leaving it there, the Utah Right to Farm Act trumps
It'll trump it all.
every
It'll be
lines.
No.
Go,
Keep going.
thank you,
Okay.
Kathy. Okay, and
Parking and storage of commercial large vehicles.
this goes to up above or down here, 24,000 pounds, you can only have what, one?
One.
And they have to be parked 50 feet from the road.
Yep. So 2 things here. That added sentence makes sure that farmers who have, I don't know, a semi truck in which they haul their large bales of alfalfa.
Yeah.
That is considered agricultural instead of another vehicle,
Gotcha.
okay?
This was, a big complaint.
Big. And then okay, go ahead.
Bye, thank you.
Thanks, LT.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's go down. And then that's all the setback stuff.
And all of those reflect the changes that were submitted above? The from 75 to 30, blah, blah, blah. If not, do we need to change those checks?
We did not change any of these. Do we need to change any? Our intent was whatever that setback is what it should be.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Is this where you want to talk about your non-conforming language?
The grandfather clause. So I did not send this to everybody. I sent it to Brian. Corbin wrote a grandfather clause for me, for the farmers. And I can send it to Kathy to share everybody, or I'll send it to everybody. But the farmers are worried that the fact that we've been a rural farming community for years, and while there were land use codes, maybe not everybody follow. And so I had Corbin draft I'm calling it a grandfather clause that protects them from as long as they were doing legal things in the past, they're still gonna be legal is what it says. It does not protect if you're out of compliance in the past knowingly, that's not the way it's written.
Okay.
I believe we need to have a conversation broadly about how do we deal with the issue of what was done by us and our neighbors for the last 150 years of. We've got businesses everywhere, we've got use of property, there
Signs or commands.
lots of stuff that was not fully compliant with Weaver Code. And we've got to deal with, not today, that issue. The code, the ordinance language that Corbin wrote for me provides some protection, but doesn't protect you per se if you were clearly non-compliant in the past.
Knowingly not.
But I believe it's a good first step to give the farmers some feeling of assurance that they're grandfathered.
Farmers being grandfathered.
It's
Not wrong.
agricultural.
And
I will forward it to you all and we can look at it overnight.
Is the thought being that we'll have enough to be able to approve that one tomorrow, or is that one still just for discussion?
Well, we can discuss it tomorrow and hopefully vote. We'll get you a clean copy of AB3 and FB3 that includes that grandfather clause as an added clause at the end here.
And that's your homework assignment, your.
I have taken a homework assignment. Thank you, Sharon.
No, that's trying to support this. Well,
I know he is, but he doesn't sleep. We established that earlier in the meeting.
Yeah.
Nor do I, you know, you get emails from me as usual. Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Now, this language, agricultural needs to be, what Ag Committee did needs to be copy paste in FB3 and in HR3 wherever agricultural operations are spoken to.
Who's doing that?
Brian,
I will do that.
why don't they incorporate it by reference, do it well once? And then in all those other codes.
well, what I said to Brian for FB3, these changes were done. So what Brian got mirrored AB3. We haven't received HR3 yet tomorrow. Have we? I haven't touched it. HR3. That was passed out of
You're talking about FI3.
what is now HR3. They
It
renamed
is not HR3, it is HR.
HR. HR.
That was a different.
Thank you. But it does speak to agricultural as well, for some reason.
Okay, make it so.
I have a homework assignment working with Tide. And I either indirectly through Brian or directly through you all, I'm just gonna send you the damn thing. I'm gonna send you the edited.
It's okay to send us stuff, because we're not.
You just can't reply.
Don't reply. Okay,
Don't reply all.
thank you, Tide.
Not a
You're
problem.
welcome to stay here to the bitter end with us.
Well, if that's all you need me for, I'm getting out of here.
I'm gonna call you later tonight.
All right. We'll see you.
See you, buddy.
Bye, thank you.
Right.
So tomorrow,
Let's make a plan about what we're gonna do.
if we receive what Brian's homework, what Brian is committed to in homework assignment, I will be, assuming it's quality, will be ready to vote on a general.
We will be too.
I will be too.
Okay,
Can, question, Jenna, from a procedural point of view, if we see something like, that wasn't changed right or something,
You can
we
change
can
it,
do it at the time,
just like you do with the ordinance, where you say, change that language and let it go.
so we got that. What do we do with the zoning map? We've got Brian and the Stokers talking about their property. We've got form-based dealt with. We've got FE3 to AB3 dealt with. We've been asked to vote on a zoning map, right? That's my understanding of what was thrown up as.
I don't know why, I mean,
My understanding, well. I think we can vote on this zoning map. I don't think my logic is, it seems like it doesn't fit to vote on a map where you haven't defined all the zones.
That's fine.
So
Yeah.
I don't have a heartburn
We can
one
hold,
way or the other, I'll hold off. What I would,
we can go through and pencil it in.
what I would like is codified somehow that. It would be awesome, the reason to vote is though we don't have this effing discussion here,
Yes,
which we will, if we don't vote.
so
Is there, then you know why.
let's go ahead and vote, subject
Sorry.
to, we may recall it, the zones are dramatically changed.
we could do that.
Let's do that.
You may have to have it in the public hearing, I have to check the language of the statute.
Well, fine, we have public hearing in the future, but we've got to,
But we've got something.
okay,
Let me get, because this has been going back and forth. The zoning map is not complete. We don't know what they are because we haven't gone through all the zones. But you're saying to vote on the zoning map?
So we're saying we're not expecting major changes in the remaining zones that is the planning commission is going to pass out to us. And frankly, if they do make major changes, we have the ability to make them consistent with our vision of what those zones were or should be. I think we've done the major zones, is that safe to say?
I would say, no.
no,
No, I would not agree with that. I think I understand what your concern is, but I would remind you all that in the end. At a point, you just say discussion is closed, but and whether that is tomorrow or 3 weeks from now. It still comes down to discussion is closed, we're calling for a vote. And it takes 3 or more.
Right,
And one person is recused from the map?
Oh, that's true.
yeah.
at least the discussion about 4
I just
weeks.
don't feel like we've
And
got all the information on the zones, so.
I think we can avoid, I think we're trying to avoid lengthy discussion, and we could.
Yeah, that's what
Like, we could, I do too, we need to get the work done, and so we can call for a vote. And with respect, our fellow council members, but also we can call for a vote, we can make a motion.
So planning, you have to remember, the planning commission already forwarded it to you, so they are done.
Yeah.
They were done with this, you know.
Yeah, but they haven't ordered, we haven't received all of the zoning ordinances.
I understand that, but they were not anticipating changes to any parcels.
Yeah.
They were not.
They need to, they assume things about the 5 that perhaps they shouldn't have assumed.
Yeah, well, that may be, but they, you know, their assumption was that they had made all of the changes to the zoning map that needed to be made. So if you're saying you don't, you know, you want to have more caution. And wait and see what they come up with, because some of their stuff is maybe not the way that you would expect to see it. That's okay, but they're not expecting to back, they thought they were done.
Yeah, and I don't think we have to send it back to them. We're talking about reopening a longer discussion of the map. But I think we can control this by calling for a vote.
When,
So tell me what.
It's on the agenda tomorrow for discussion as well as the potential for adoption, denial, or table.
When may mean that if we don't have a map, we can't unroll, I think, part of the moratorium.
Well, right, but you can adopt the map, you can come to an agreement and wait to adopt it when all of the ordinances that are necessary for the rollback, you can do it all together.
Yep.
At that time, if you want to, and that, like, to me, it makes sense not to adopt a map when you haven't, like, when you're saying you have manufacturing, but I haven't told you what manufacturing means.
Yeah.
That feels weird to me.
Yeah.
I would think you need to define what's going on in the map, but There are gonna be
Okay.
places with, if you wanna roll it back, though, there's commercial on the map. And that's not part of the rollback.
Which is, I mean, anything we do is problematic and has risks.
I'm just, if it's just to avoid a discussion, I think I want to know what the zones are on the map before we vote on it.
To Janet's point, let's pause it, let's assume that on the fifth of May, we're gonna be ready to vote to roll back residential. There's some issues with that, but let's just use that as an example. We will not have talked about commercial and manufacturing in CBR one and that, which are on the zoning map. So,
Mobile home park.
so
That's
it's on the map.
It's on the map, but they haven't forwarded it through because they originally thought to take.
No, they did, they didn't change it.
They pushed it forward, I haven't seen it on
Yeah,
the.
they did.
Okay, well, hold that thought.
Okay.
So if we want to see and talk through every one of the zoning ordinances before we approve a map, we're not going to do that until we receive and talk through manufacturing, CBR and CB and all those,
Down the road.
which is going to be way after the fifth of May.
Unless you can I mean, I think Corbin once said, that- I don't remember whether you
You see the
do a
problem?
partial. Like you could do a residential map versus a residential and commercial map.
Yes, so we have to have that zoning map in order to roll back, is that what you're saying?
I don't know, cause I can't get a freaking.
You do,
Okay.
because of the fact that. Who, like, so how do we tell the person, so now we know what AB3 is, how do we tell the people who's in
Who
it?
is in
The
a,
map tells you who's in.
you do have to have it to come out of the word.
So, yes,
You have.
yes. By the way, all of these problems are why the original advice of council was to just do one full land use code in its entirety and don't try to do partial. This is why, really.
Yeah,
But
but
back in
we are,
December.
we are where we are. We are where we are.
Or so fast, that was so much.
What are we gonna do?
We can find out tomorrow too, it's 5:27, there's still 2 things we have to do before we get out,
Right.
so, alright. Next thing on the agenda is council and comments, and you can assume everybody.
I'm done.
Alright, next thing on the agenda is the closed meeting, which I assume nobody has any for, alright, I can take a motion for adjournment.
A motion to adjourn.
I'll take a second.
Second.
A motion and a second, and we are adjourned at 5:27.
Okay.